She derivative still.
There she is. There she is.
Welcome to Jill's.
Can I offer you some tea?
Would you make me some of that Plomeek soup?
Good tea. Nice house.
Oh, son of Terrell! Kneel before Sod! Snitchy boochies.
Hello and welcome. We're here today to talk about Superman 2. Oh, early on in my channel, I talked about the very first Superman from 1978 for my, the first stream in which we celebrated Scotty R 37's birthday. And here we are years later. Reviewing
1 year
Superman 2.
later. Jeez, you make it sound like
Was
we
it
did it
last
in
year?
1987. It was last year.
Was it? Oh, I feel like it was the year before last year. Like it wasn't
I forget.
2023.
I'm sorry, I interrupted your introduction.
But that's okay. I just saw this thing for the first time yesterday, so I'm still processing so many things. But there's no better way to nail down all my suspicions and questions than to ask somebody who knows about them. What's going on. And so I'm glad that I have you here today to put together my award-winning report on Superman 2.
Pulitzer.
Nobel.
No, nice. Peabody.
That is why today we have Scotty R37, because he wants to talk about. Well, we wanted to touch a little bit on Gene Hackman, even though he had a bigger role in the original Superman, but we already talked about that movie, so we decided to talk about the sequel. And
yeah. And this is one of those, and I'm so glad that you just saw it for the first time yesterday. This is one of those movie sequels, it's up until, I know this came out in 1980, but this was like, oh man, the sequel's so good. Superman fights supervillains, and this is a rock'em sock'em superhero sequel. And so I'm glad that you got to see it, and I'm interested to hear your reactions.
Right, because he was definitely unique as a being in the first movie, and now he has to meet people on equal footing, except there were 3 of them. But he's Superman, so it is equal. And so, but also there's a lot of weird production stuff going on with this movie, because there's a theatrical cut and a Donner cut, and usually when there's 2 different cuts, it's like, oh well, this is just the director fixing some stuff he wanted to fix. No, these are almost completely different movies.
Yeah,
even though they use the same footage because they have to. And it's just really, it might even, how this movie was made might be more dramatic than the movie itself.
It's so interesting. I love it.
Yeah,
I love this is one of those things where it's not even a debate as to which cut you prefer, the theatrical or the Richard Lester cut or the Donner cut, which came out much, much later, because people felt that there was a little too much silliness in Superman 2 and they wanted to refine it. But I like both. I don't think that there's a bad answer to this.
I think you can borrow elements from each of them and make an even better movie. I think you can smash them together. And
yeah,
as we're talking, I'll explain how. I guess there are some things I like from one better than the other, and vice versa. And so we have, like you said, the original director from the first movie, Richard Donner, also started making most of the second movie. But then I guess he had a falling out with Pierre Spengler. Do you know much about that?
I don't know if it was Pierre Spengler or if it was Ilion and Alexander Salkind. I thought he had issues with the Salkinds, who owned the Superman property, or they owned the rights to make the movie. They're the executive producers. And it could have been Pierre Spengler. I know that he was the producer on the Lester cut. But again, like it's well documented. I'm much more entrenched in the storytelling of the film. But essentially what it came down to is that Superman 2, they wanted to slash the budget after they had a huge box office windfall with the first Superman movie, where they said that no one would go and see a comic book movie. It's for kids. And it was huge. And they said, great, we'll take this money and we'll pay you exactly the same. And Richard Donner, I think, and I don't want to disparage anybody, but I think he was like, we made a lot of money on the first one. You want to pony up? You want to pay us? And the Salkinds were like, no, we don't. We don't really need you. You made most of the movie that we need. We own it because you made it for us. And we're just going to get somebody else to fill in the gaps. And yeah, there are some losses in the theatrical cut. Like, you don't get Marlon Brando in the theatrical. You do in the Donner cut. But again, it's a matter of perspective as to, I like how the first one, Superman the movie, is about dads, and how this one is Superman asking his mom to lose his virginity. And it's more about a matronly, feminine situation. I think I think both cuts have their incredible value. But yeah, no, there was behind the scenes production issues. And for good or ill, they rectified them.
I thought it was a bit jarring because you had the dad in the crystals, and then suddenly it's the mom. Where did she come from? That doesn't make any sense.
It makes perfect sense if you can't afford Marlon Brando.
Well, was it that they couldn't afford him, or he didn't want to? He felt like he didn't want to be there. It felt like a lot of people didn't want to be there because Donner wasn't there anymore.
That is something that happened with all of the Gene Hackman stuff was directed by Richard Donner.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, what's this?
Oh, yeah.
What's this?
All of it. Yeah. See, we would have had more Lex Luthor if they didn't fire Richard Donner, right?
Right. But
that would have been great. He needed to be more in the movie. I think he needed us. Like he was. They just kind of made him funny, but I think he should have had a more sinister plan. He should have had more of a thing going on. I'm not sure exactly what, but he should have been a little more, I feel.
Well, Gene Hackman, like Lex Luthor, has more of a sinister edge and more of a plan in the director's or in the theatrical cut. Like, he's just sort of shoehorned in the Donner cut. It's just like, we have this Gene Hackman footage, and they didn't really play with it as much in the Donner cut. But, also, sorry, I'm very excited. It's awesome to wake up on a Friday morning and watch Superman 2. It just makes you feel good.
Yeah, it does. I do feel really good. It's true. It's like a medicine. I'd like to say hello. Oh my gosh. I want to say hello to everybody in the chat too before we get too much deeper into this, because I can keep asking questions before we even bring up the slides, and I don't know which way I'm going, because there's so many interesting things about this movie. And Old Man Bird, I gotta thank you for supporting the channel today with one super sticker and one super chat. Thank you so much for the super sticker. What is it of? A little pear. It's Thane. Thank you.
Oh, it's the pear. I love the pear.
Yeah, he's so cute. With the little headband.
Domo arigato.
Doidastumasti. I'm trying to say you're welcome if I mispronounced it.
I don't speak Spanish.
I have to ask Canadian Spider-Man if I'm saying that right. God bless John Williams.
Hells yes.
Yeah, and there was a thing with the music too, right? Wasn't there? There's
Yes.
yeah.
And John Williams was one of the omissions from the theatrical cut, is that it was reinserted into the Donner cut, which elevates it.
Definitely. All this movie is missing is crypto. And maybe Helen Slater. What do you think
Oh,
about
Old
that?
Man Bird. Old Man Bird. I've been neglectful in providing super chats to Jill's channel. And the reason for that is that I told Stone Racket about this on Tuesday during the Twilight Zone, is that I ordered the special edition of Supergirl. So I am very much looking forward to a movie that I have notoriously loathed. But since I've been on such a Superman kick, I'm like, oh man, oh my stars, I got to see Supergirl again and see if I can enjoy it while ensconced in the green frilly embrace of completely legal Canadian products and enjoying it for the camp that it is. But yeah, I am knee deep in Superman love right now, and Helen Slater is certainly a part of it.
Yeah, you sent me a clip. I don't know if it was a trailer or just clips from that movie. But man, does that look like cheese
Schlock.
poured all over a bowl of corn? It just way too. I
Yeah,
don't know
can't
what
wait.
that is.
Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see it again. It's got an audio commentary. So anyway.
So as a special thanks to Eugene Bird for those super chats, I'm gonna play all of the clips that I made today because I didn't make that many.
Oh, you're
So
gonna
here we
okay.
go.
You
Yeah, why
go,
not?
girl.
Get him! Come to me, son of Jor-El! Kneel before Zod!
That one is a required one.
Yes.
But this one, you know, they talk about how the theatrical one is campy and funny, but I think this line that got cut from the theatrical is funny.
You just go, psst. I wish I had Miss Luther before we left. Psst. Not that psst, that psst. Oh. Psst, psst, psst. Don't go psst when I go psst. Do it. Psst, psst.
And of course, that's Miss No, I can't say
Tessmacher.
any name.
Miss Tessmacher!
Tessmacher. Thank you. She's got her hot air balloon pilot's license somehow.
Hey, that's the Chiefs. The Chiefs got it.
I love that line.
That was requested by you.
Yes.
You requested that one last night.
I do love that. That's one of those things. I love Gene Hackman, and I love him as Lex Luthor. And that is one of those off-the-cuff natural moments that Lex would absolutely say. I don't know if it was scripted. I don't know if it was improvised, but I just love that brief moment between Gene Hackman and Mark McClure.
Yeah, well, they didn't give Jimmy Olsen a whole lot to do in either cut. So I guess that's the big moment there. For that poor guy. He had a bigger moment in the first movie.
When he
And
died?
I want to say hello. Well, he was also
Almost died.
taking pictures.
Yeah, I guess he was. He does that
Gavin
in this
Blackburn?
movie. Sorry, keep
Yeah.
going with the chat. I'm interrupting.
That's okay, but I gotta say hello to the chat. And Gavin Blackburn's here. He has a poster for this movie, and he wonders why Zod looks so happy. And here's I gotta remove us so you can see how happy he looks.
3! That's why.
All right. I just figured it was supposed to be a grimace that doesn't quite look like one.
Nothing
And
can kill the
also-
grimace.
Hello to Gap After Dark.
Hey, Gap.
Jedi Master 2022. So good to see you here.
Hello, Master.
Scotty, please read.
Gap After Dark in the chat says, look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. That was terrible, but whatever. I'm just from Metropolis. What do I know? DJ Knight.
Is it
Hello.
Metropolis or is it Times Square? Hello to DJ Knight.
The answer is yes.
That was like they don't even wipe out the things that say Broadway on it. And
The Statue of Liberty is right there. The World Trade
Yeah.
Center is right there.
Yeah, yeah, they're all the things. I guess they didn't have as much. Well, they weren't given more money like they should have had anyway.
Oh no, but they established that New York City pretty much was Metropolis in Superman the movie.
Oh, they did? Okay. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Then everything's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Jedi Master's working on Lost in Space. Yeah, just DM me about that and whatever you want to do. And so we've got
I don't like your
who
new
else is
bot.
there?
I don't like your new bot.
What's wrong with her?
I don't know. She's sassy.
Is she? I actually want her to be sassy, but I got to program her to do that. Right now, she's just posting links.
I don't like her tone.
All right. She doesn't have one yet. Franco
I know,
Walker, hello.
That's what I don't like. Franco, what's going on? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit all the bells and buttons and share on all of your favorite social media platforms.
Oh, this was covered on his birthday stream when we reviewed Superman. He is as old as Superman 1978.
This is true. Yeah, I'm as old as Superman the movie.
This is Superman is such a wonderful role model, says Old Man Bird. You would not be getting laid in today's world, though. Oh, what do you think so? I don't know.
No, I think Superman 2 is all about Superman trying to get laid. So we'll talk about it.
Are you going to do Superman 3 and For the Quest of Peace?
Probably not.
I don't know. Scotty would have to be interested in it because that's how this happened.
Yeah, like I don't think so. I think that these are the two, and your mileage may vary on the rest. Like I have no interest in talking about like what is it, Superman Returns, the one with Brandon Routh. Like I don't, Jill, you don't care about the one with Kevin Spacey being Lex Luthor, do you?
No.
So there you go. We're not talking about that one. I like
actor,
Richard.
But...
Well, yeah, but he's also, he's been accused of many things.
Yeah.
But also it's not that good a Superman movie. Like it tries to be as good as Superman the movie, and it's not. And it certainly isn't as good as Superman 2. So, and I would rather watch. The only reason we would watch Superman 3 is because of Richard Pryor and Robert Vaughn, because Napoleon Solo. Yeah, and Napoleon Solo from The Man from U.N.C.L.E., he's the bad guy in Superman 3.
Oh, I haven't seen him as the bad guy. That could be fun.
Yeah, you got to, and maybe Superman 3. You know what? This is, Superman movies show up whenever they have to show up. They don't show up on time.
No. It might be 3 years from now. Who knows?
Could be.
Franco Walker says, please subscribe, hit the bell, share, hit like, and select live chat.
Oh, yeah, that's a good call, too. Oh, you know what? Someone else has said, and consider joining the channel. There are perks, from what I understand.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what they are.
Perks. There's a Discord. There are member streams. Sometimes I make videos. I need to do more of those. And oh yeah, the emojis. And I'm sure there's something else, but I can't think of it.
Oh yeah.
Hello to
Eric's.
And hello to Lemon Pie.
Lemon gave me a great compliment last night.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. He said that I looked really good in a brown blazer, and there were only 2 people who would pull that off, and one was Reagan.
You?
Besides me, it was me and Reagan And I assume that's Ronald Reagan, which is a great compliment. Thank you so much. I didn't mention it at the time because at the Phantasmagorium, if I become self-aggrandizing, they're not as understanding as when I'm self-aggrandizing on Jill's channel. There we go. There are some of the custom emojis that you can get if you join up.
Yeah, I'm just going to make it to... I thought about making this into a poll, and you know what? I'll just do it.
Yeah. See? Jedi Master, that is a difficult question. What do you like better for Superman 2, the Donner cut or the Lester cut? I think that whichever cut of the film you prefer is a good reason to watch Superman 2. But I think that for me, I prefer the theatrical. I prefer the Lester cut.
I want both because I prefer having Marlon Brando. I prefer having Jor-El as the one talking to Superman about how he should be, because he's the one who's been teaching him since he was a baby, and he came in. It just fits with the first movie so much better, and I feel like there's more of an arc from the first to the second with their relationship. And the last remaining power that is alive within those crystals.
But I like the fact that the crystals that are like his Encyclopedia Britannica from Krypton, like I like that idea of being different people from Krypton, as opposed to it's just a constant lecture from Jor-El. Like it seems overbearing, and that's part of the reason why I didn't really like Smallville so much, is because they made Jor-El into more of a, he was almost a menace, like, and not in a, like he was, Jor-El sometimes turns into an overbearing dude, and I think that Superman 2, the Donner cut, feeds into that. Like there's even a moment where Superman is like Clark or Kal-El is saying, I love this woman and I want to be with her. And
I don't like that part in either movie.
No, I know. But the thing is that with Marlon Brando in that, and he's a big disembodied head, and he like Kal-El is doing his thing, and the hologram of Jor-El looks up shamingly at Lois and being like, just know you did this. And it's like, whoa. I like the idea of sort of, you know what, I want to talk to Dad about this, but can I stop being Superman so I can fuck my girlfriend? Sorry about the swear, it's Friday.
Well, but why does he have to stop being Superman? Why does he have to give up his powers? It doesn't make any
No, it does. It does make sense. If you've ever seen Mallrats, Jill, Superman cannot have sex with a human because his, when he climaxes, it's like a shotgun blast. So he has to be a human to have regular coitus with...
He already did that. He did that before he asked permission.
No, in the Donner cut, yes. In the Lester cut, no. He's like, I love her. She said she loved me. We're going to get married. Can I not be a Kryptonian for a bit so I can consummate this relationship? I'm trying to be as PG-13 as possible.
Yeah, but they don't explain your Mallrat stuff in the Superman movies.
So there you go. Mallrats is special features.
No,
I
think that Superman. I like the Donner cut order of it. It's just, all right. I think the power of Superman is that he could crush you, but he knows how to control his strength. And he won't.
But I don't know.
And I think he can be just as gentle, intimately in that way.
Well, yeah, okay. I don't know if I want to get any. This is a nighttime conversation. But anyway, I understand where you're coming from. I did start it. But so you're familiar with the human act of coitus, yes? And you know that once the human male climaxes, there is
it has to.
what they call an ejaculate. And
just like any of the best men that can control it, I think he can too.
So you think Superman can, control the size of his Vans deferens and
Yeah.
make sure that he doesn't, like, again, just
Yes.
punch a hole?
Yeah.
All right.
I think
No,
so.
that makes
I
sense.
think
He is
so.
Superman after all. Yeah. Okay.
Right. Right. So -1 says Jill has kids, so I assume she is familiar. Yes, I have, but I've only been with Superman one time. He was gentle, so I know for a fact. No, no, what is going on? What am I saying?
Yeah, no, but
I
yeah.
didn't get a lot of sleep last night.
Were you with Superman?
No,
All right.
well, that's why. But he is warning him. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I just like Jor-El. It didn't feel as powerful. I don't know. The John Williams theme starts playing, and the hair stands up on my arms, says
I'm just
Old Man Bird. Yeah, that's why I had to get a few seconds of it, even if it gets claimed.
It's ear to ear smiles whenever I hear that theme. And especially when I see Christopher Reeve smiling in that cape.
Yes, he is the ultimate loving, honest, loyal alpha male. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Old Man Bird. But before I, you know, start writing a fan fiction, let's look at this movie instead. And
So the slides this afternoon will be taken
the Donner Cut.
from the Donner Cut, yeah, which is
Yeah, but
rad. A lot of people like it.
mm,
I do too.
it's true. And you can inject when you want to talk about the theatrical. And so since you know both, you know when to say things. And so then right.
It's
So
gonna be
this Donner Cut was made in 2006 when when he restored what he really wanted to make in the first place, but since it's made way later past shooting, you can't do any reshoots, so you're left with whatever you got from the original filming. And so a Jedi Master says Scotty had that smile that made it so like the comics would be. What does that mean? I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Like some of the artists, and I don't want to call them caricaturists, but there are some that have taken sort of the Christopher Reeve jawline, facial, like they make Superman look like Christopher Reeve if it is in service to the story. And it always makes me grin, makes me smile when I see an artist pay homage to Mr. Reeve.
And so the people who wrote the first movie was Robert Van Diede, but that he didn't come back for this one. Instead, this time we have David Newman and Leslie Newman. But so
But I think that's also something to do with the production. I'm sure that all of the credits are sort of puzzle pieces from two different puzzles that are just scattered on a table and mixed and matched, and then you have to figure out the picture. Like there's a lot of moving parts. Like did they even mention Mario Puzo in the opening credits of the Donner Cut?
they do.
They do.
Like
Okay.
he wrote
Okay.
a script, but do we see any of what he made?
Well, yeah, I guess.
Well, I guess some of the ideas are there. So exactly what? I don't know. I think you can go and find his scripts online somewhere and do a comparison.
Well, he did
one
the
of the biggest
story and then it was the screen. I think it's like the story by Mario Puzo and then screenplay by Mankiewicz. Either way, like either way, first things first, Superman the movie and Superman 2 are a brilliant double feature, no matter what cut of Superman 2 you want to watch. So a lot of the stuff, oh my stars, Chris, without whom we would never have believed that a man could fly. True.
Hmm.
Hey, DJ Knight, if you want to talk about Snow White, you should probably go find a daycare with a lot of 10-year-old girls.
Hey,
Moving
wait a
on.
minute.
Sorry, I'm yelling at the chat.
Hey, wait a minute. You don't need to yell at the chat. If he wants to mention
Hang out at a
ladies that
daycare with
are
10-year-old
interesting
girls and he can do that?
to
Sure,
him.
fine. That's cool.
Hey, I don't appreciate that. Some
I know.
people like Disney
Hey,
movies
DJ
when
Knight.
they were kids and they
DJ
grow
Knight
up
said
and
LOL.
they still
He said LOL.
yeah. I know, but I don't like it.
Oh, my mistake. Kneel before Zod. Kneel before Scott.
Because I like those Disney movies, and that doesn't mean
that's fine. You're a
I
woman.
belong in a preschool. Oh, okay.
No,
now there's sexism. Okay, gotcha.
What are you talking about? There was sexism all along.
Jeez, come on. If people like Disney movies, we wouldn't be talking about them at all on YouTube if people didn't like them.
Kevin Spacey loves Disney movies.
And oh no.
You got it. You got there. Great. Anyway, so these criminals.
Oh my god. Yes,
Don't worry, I'm not going to bring it up unless anybody else.
Well, don't blame the chat for your miscreant behavior.
DJ Knight said LOL.
I know. Okay, so we're sentencing Zod and his friends to the Phantom Zone.
Friends.
Ursa and Non. They gotta go to timeout.
See, that's why I'm excited about getting Supergirl, is because it really delves into what the Phantom Zone is.
So does Lego Movie, Batman.
Really? Oh, I haven't seen it.
Yeah. No.
So we got General. We got General Zod. We've got Non. And we've got Ursa. And so Sarah Douglas plays Ursa. Jack O'Halloran plays Non. And then the great Terrence Stamp playing General Zod. You'll remember Terrence Stamp from Star Wars, The Phantom Menace. He was Chancellor Valorum. I don't know what else he's been in. Hi, kid.
Oh.
Please chat, tell me. Gap.
Gap has to leave. He's got to get going. He has an appointment. Best of luck at your appointment. I hope everything turns out well. I can't. Jedi Master can't drink his coffee. Be careful with that coffee. You gotta and your keyboard. Keyboard and coffee don't mix.
True.
And so
this is
it's kind of like a recap. It's like, oh,
yes.
I've seen this before.
Well, and this is when you watch it sort of back to back. Like, I prefer the theatrical cut because the flashback of what happened in Superman 1 takes place during the opening credits. It's kind of like the Alex Ross paintings at the beginning of Spider-Man 2. And so I like that, although I am interested, if this was a little bit more polished, to have the recap of Superman 1 be a pre-titles sequence. Like
I would prefer that too, just text.
Oh, you just want an opening crawl?
I kind of would. Or I prefer this over the theatrical, because the theatrical was just, here's a bunch of random clips that are like even if you're going into this movie not knowing the first movie and relying on those clips, you're just like, what are these just random things happening? You either know everything that happened in the last movie, or those clips aren't going to help you really.
But that's like, this is a conversation that I've had with a couple of people about a couple of movies, is that one of the things that even like sequels want you to be able to walk into their film and be like, well, I didn't see the first one, but I like Gene Hackman, so I'm going to go check this out. And you go and you check it out and you're like, okay, I'm caught up. Let's get with the story that's happening now. And I like that. So I do understand the need for a recap at the beginning of some films. And yes, Gavin Blackburn is absolutely correct.
I think just knowing that they were responsible for the destruction of their home planet and punished before the planet was destroyed, and look, there's baby Superman going to Earth is enough. Is enough to get going on.
Yes.
I don't need the rest of it. So I think Donner Cut wins that one for me.
Well, and I do like the cinematography of seeing the trio of villains within the Phantom Zone. I think it works much, much better.
Yeah, and Gavin says they're trapped in a 70s concept album. I like
yes.
that.
Oh, and Slasher Fred says the only surviving member left in the original movie is Mark McClure. Now, I don't want to jinx it. I believe Valerie Perrin is still with us. Miss Tessmacher. I love, people get upset about seeing the death of Uncle Ben or Bruce Wayne's parents getting killed. I will never get bored of seeing Krypton blow up. I love seeing Krypton blow up. Oh, you know what? I think Jill is muted because she's typing to find out whether or not Valerie Perrin is alive.
Oh, I did. I said, well, you could see it in two different movies, and yes, she is 81 years old.
Young.
Laura. Your mother, Laura. Oh, see, now it's Laura. Yeah, Laura sent you the blankets.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that. It's like these three blankets, one blue, one yellow, one red. They were packed by your mother. And I like in Superman 2 how it sort of shifts to Lara as opposed to as opposed to Jor-El. Jory. Oh, here we go.
Disease. Oh, baby time.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I wish her the best and nothing but comfort. Here we go. Baby Kal-El and yeah. Underage boy naughty bits. That's the only place you can see it in this day and age is on Superman the movie and Superman 2.
And Nirvana, one of their
and the Nirvana album cover. For sure. Yeah, for sure. Not that I'm really excited about all that. I'm just sort of pointing it out. And I don't know why, now that we mention it.
Well, and it's a theme in Fantastic Planet too.
Oh yeah.
Then you have a necklace, the kryptonite that almost takes out Superman, except he gets saved by Miss Tessmacher.
Tessmacher. It's not that hard.
It is for me. I want to pronounce the CH.
Yeah, but that doesn't come until after. Like, okay, so Tess, Tess. Say Tess.
No, I can say it. I just can't say it.
Okay.
Tessmacher.
There you go. Good lesson.
I love Oh yeah, we're not gonna get to that, so we can talk about it. You will not see that in my slides because I'm going through the Donner Cut slides. So Scotty loves this part of the movie too, because he sent me the clip like 3 times.
Oh, did it?
Slasher Fred says, I love when Superman rescues Lois from the falling elevator, and he says, I believe that this is your floor.
Except not as ominous. I believe this is your floor.
Yeah, and she's oh, thank God. Kevin. Oh. It's funnier when Gene Hackman says
True. Miss Tessmacher!
it. Right. The three trapped baddies floating through space is like a Time Life advert.
Well, you know what? And Gavin, it looks like if you were to order Superman 2 from Columbia House and you had those stamps, and so you would put the Phantom Zone stamp on the Columbia House, and it would be like, I want Superman 2. And there's General Zod just banging on his stamp. Let me out. Delightful.
But yeah. So and then it falls down the drain. We have to see that for no reason.
Well, you know what? I think it's important to see that in the Donner cut because it's the only thing that can hurt Superman.
Yes.
And it's also the only, like, honestly, you could throw kryptonite at General Zod and company and they're destroyed. But you do have to see, it's like, so why didn't you just use the kryptonite on the other Kryptonians?
The baddies.
Yeah. And I think that's I think that it's a thing where it's like, okay, no, we lost the kryptonite. The kryptonite is not
We
a part
lost
of
it.
this.
It fell down the drain and nobody knew where it was.
No one knows where it is. Superman didn't look for it because it's painful. Like, I don't go look for the, harmful radioactive goo.
You should have sent Lois to go get it.
Lois is busy.
She is busy. But anyway, this missile explodes and it creates this thing that frees the villains from their Phantom Zone.
Yes.
So that is the thing. Comic booky stuff. Yeah.
That's okay, sure. Although
no, I don't know what else to call it.
No, but I do like that it's sort of, see, it's a double-edged sword. I like that the end of Superman the movie is what triggers Superman 2. Is that when he throws away one of Lex's nuclear weapons, it cracks the Phantom Zone. It makes sense how long it took the Phantom Zone album cover to get there. And it's like, okay, well, it's solar winds or whatever, everything just comes to Earth. And
yes, I think it's a much better tie-in from the first movie to the second.
Right, yes.
Versus, oh, look, some random terrorists had a nuclear weapon or whatever they had. And that's how they got freed.
But
and
don't
they
you
get freed in very similar ways, I guess.
You've seen Harry Potter, right?
Yes.
You know the uncle, Harry Potter's uncle, who makes him live under the stairs?
Vernon.
Yeah.
Dursley.
He's one of the terrorists in Superman 2.
Oh, really? Oh,
Richard
really?
Griffiths.
You know what? I think I recognize him, but it didn't click. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. There's a bunch of there. Usually we play the who was in Star Trek game, but in today's episode, we're going to be, hey, there's a Harry Potter, there's a Star Wars. There's a couple of Star Wars.
There. Oh, you know what? He had sunglasses on, so I don't feel so bad.
He was incognito.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I did not recognize him.
No, that's not him.
No.
His name is Richard Griffiths.
Then why did that picture come up?
Because you were using Bing.
Okay, I want to find it.
Did you ask Jeeves?
No.
All right, I'm just making
Jeeves
fun
was dumb.
Yeah, well, if only Tony were here, he could ask Jarvis.
Jarvis, yeah, Jarvis would know.
Jarvis would dig it.
Here it is. Here he is. Yeah, he does look like Uncle Vernon here, with no.
Yeah. So that's Richard Griffiths. and he was a terrorist who made an atom bomb, ultimately to open the Phantom Zone. Way to go, Vernon.
All right, but the Donner cut I think wins this one because it ties from the first to the second.
I guess.
But you really like that scene, and so do people in the chat. So why not? It's fine. And the director, I saw in one video that the director had to have shot 50% of the movie to get director's credit. So he had to do stuff like this to get to be able to say he made this movie.
But I also like that it sort of strengthens Lois Lane as being a reporter who will put herself into danger to get the story. Like as she's being drawn up the elevator in the Eiffel Tower that is holding the hydrogen bomb, she's like, Pulitzer Prize. What am I doing this for? Pulitzer Prize.
She's really reckless.
She is, of course she is, and that's why Superman is kind of attracted to her. It gives him something to do.
Yeah, you just have to hang around Lois, and you'll have to save her every once in a while.
Yeah, exactly. Hang on a second. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
All right. Oh, they're free. They're free. Woo. They're free, but they're not going to go straight to Earth. They're gonna make a pit stop on the moon first. And there's, people from Krypton can fly in space, so that makes it easy for them to, they don't need spaceships or anything. And we get the credits. We got the people who made this movie: Alexander Slinko, Gene Hackman, of course Lex Luthor, Christopher Reeve, of course Superman. I'm gonna get to a name I don't know. Marlon Brando, Jor-El. Was Jor-El? And a Richard Donner film. And so now this one is Superman, as if Richard Donner got to make it, even though he didn't. But now we get to pretend that he did. And the credits are a little different in theatrical. They're a little more excited. And here are more people in the movie. Margot Kidder, of course, Lois Lane.
Margot Kidder. She's Canadian. She's from Calgary. Don't worry, it's club soda.
I'm not worried.
Clifton James. Did you recognize Clifton James?
Clifton James.
You should. You've been going through the James Bond movies.
Oh, right. Okay, the sheriff.
Yeah.
From the James Bond movies. The racist guy.
Yeah, that's him.
But he's not that in here. Yeah.
No, he doesn't like hippies.
Yeah, he's still a cop though, but he's not a bad one.
Oh, DJ Knight wants the theme music while we're showing the credits.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. You
want to roll the dice again?
I can't. For some reason, I'm stuck. Okay, here we are.
Oh, no.
I was covering the page with my notes so I could focus because I know the chat's probably... Let's see.
Oh, the chat's delightful.
Yes, the chat is wonderful. Let me find the music.
Yeah, no. All right, that's enough. Now we're definitely in trouble.
No, it's okay if you sing it. Old Man Bird says yes. In the comic books, there were different colors of kryptonite that had different effects. Can't remember what they do. Oh wow.
Yeah. I do not recall either. Slasher Fred says.
Yeah, go ahead. You read.
Oh, sure. It's so funny how Zod and his minions at first believe Earth is called Houston. When they are confronted by the Apollo mission, they say, Houston, we have a problem. Yes, we will go to this planet Houston. Actually, Houston.
Yes, it's
Adore it.
almost cute. Yeah. It's like, oh, they don't know what the plant's called. But then somebody corrects them.
Yes, and when we see him, I will tell you who he is.
Yay.
See, Metropolis with the World Trade Center. And
Yeah,
I don't,
Metropolis
George
is the
Washington Bridge, Brooklyn Bridge. I don't know which bridge that is.
Brooklyn, probably.
Yeah, I don't know.
But there are also nice fresh melons.
Sorry, what? Not a thing I was expecting to hear you say today, Jill.
Well, they come back.
Right, I forgot about that. Yes,
they're paid off in the Donner cut, not in the not in the theatrical.
Right, true, science fact.
But in both cases, Lois Lane is batshit crazy.
No, she's a curious reporter.
Slasher Fred says, I read that Superman unknowingly releasing Zod and his gang was originally going to happen at the end of the original movie as a cliffhanger. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah. Well, because I think this was filmed concurrently. So Superman 1 and Superman 2 sort of expanded into this super production, and they had to release something or they wouldn't make their money back. And Superman 1 was released, and that's when you get the Superman turns back time by going super fast backwards around the Earth. And then, but that was originally, as we will see watching this, that was going to be the end of the whole story of Superman 1 and Superman 2, but they decided to split it up. And so there may have been a cliffhanger situation happening with that. But again, Richard Donner was removed from creative control of Superman 2 after Superman 1 was released. So I don't think that there was going to be a cliffhanger at the end of Superman 1, because Richard Donner did have, a semblance of he had his hands on the reins during the original release of the first film.
Yeah.
Also,
that's why I'm confused why he uses that same ending again. I know that it was intended that way at first, but after you make the first movie, things should be different. I don't know. I don't like it.
Well, and that's the thing, is that I don't know which I like better. Like, I prefer the turning back time thing, but I also think it's lazy to use it twice.
Cleaner, but then again, yeah, it's repetitive.
It's better than the magic kiss.
Yeah. Since when, like, we know he has super breath. Like, he can make fire and ice from his breath, but now he can it also makes you forget how.
There's a lot of stuff that happens in the director's cut, or sorry, in the theatrical cut, where it's like, I didn't even know Kryptonians had that power, and it's like, they really don't.
Yeah, exactly. And well, let's say hello to Snortopoopus Cuber.
Poopus.
We just rammed right into the end there, but that's okay. This is Superman, and it's not overly complicated, so it makes sense.
Yeah, spoilers for how old? Well, it's got to be a 40-year-old movie now. 45.
45. Were those checked jackets ever fashionable? They seemed goofy when I saw the movie way back then. Oh, Tristan Mendoza's here. Super breath.
Tristan.
Sounds like Superman's mouth stinks. Oh, I don't know the proper terminology. I am just a movie fan. So if there are any comic book fans out there that want to correct me, I want to be corrected.
Kryptonian halitosis.
Hey, thank you, Old Man Bird, supporting the channel once again with another super chat. This time for $4.99. Hey, I like Superman Returns too. Scotty R37.
I like it, but it's definitely, out of the 5 sort of Christopher Reeve era, and I know that's sort of apocryphal because Christopher Reeve isn't even in Superman Returns. Like out of the 5 or 4, 5, I think I like Superman Returns 4th. I think it's the 4th best one. So it goes Superman 1, Superman 2, Superman 3, which I know, unpopular choice, and then Superman Returns, and then Superman Quest for Peace.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, everybody. Information you didn't need.
Well, if anybody wanted to know how you order your Superman, then they're happy.
Now they know.
Right now.
Now they know.
Yeah. There you go. I'm just gonna pick one at random here. Let's see. Since we mentioned Harry Potter.
You're just as sane as I am.
Or maybe there's this one. Oh, but I'll play that when we get to the scene. Never mind. There's a clip I'm not playing. Oh, I love
All
this
right.
one.
I did it!
I actually don't play that one enough.
True.
And oh right, yeah, you have issues with your yeah, I'm so sorry you've got issues with that. I don't know if it's your internet or the microphone or the fact that you're using your phone. It's yeah, it doesn't work out too well, unfortunately.
Don't worry about it. The only audio
Yeah.
issues that I have is that the opinions generated by Scotty R37 do not reflect the channel manager and owner.
Yes. But I'd like to say see you later to Jedi Master 2022. He's got to go. Have a wonderful day.
Goodbye, Master.
A great rest of your fantastic Friday. Franco Walker says, please subscribe and hit the bell, share, hit like, and select live chat. Always good advice.
Mm-hmm.
When Superman Returns, the one where his suit has nipples. Oh, wait a minute. You get Superman back mixed up with your Batman.
No, that was Zack Snyder's Justice League because he wasn't wearing a shirt, so you get to see his nipples.
Oh, okay.
Superman has nipples.
Well, Gavin Blackburn says,
yeah.
Yes.
No, we don't have to pursue the nipple thing.
Well, no, why would we? Superman 4 is by
Really
no
don't.
means a good movie. But I love the scene of Clark selling the farm and letting go of his past. Those scenes are well done.
Agreed. I agree with you on that.
E.G. Marshall was once on the radio back when they used to have those live radio dramas as the host on CBS Radio Mystery Theater. Adds Slasher Fred.
And I was like, why do I know who E.G. Marshall is? And he was one of the 12 Angry Men, which I recently got to see within the last year. And E.G. Marshall is fantastic. He's sort of one of those, hey, it's that guy.
Oh well. Anyway, we're
an hour into the podcast and we are 5 minutes into the movie.
Yeah, so Lois is thinking. Well, no, we'll pick it up. We'll pick it up. It's just the way we got started. We had to start with talking about all the production and all of that stuff. So Lois is pretty sure now that Clark Kent is Superman, and so she's figuring it out. If she were watching the theatrical cut, she would have realized it sooner when he got run over by the car, but the car didn't actually run him over. He just destroyed the car. But I guess she was just absent-minded or something. She wasn't really paying attention.
No, but I like in the theatrical cut how there's more of a logical progression to Lois sort of suspecting Clark as opposed to, all right, opening scene, what's happening? Lois sees Clark Kent for the 11 billionth time and says, hey, those glasses aren't convincing. So I like the way the theatrical cut does it as opposed to the Donner cut.
Yeah. But I don't mind the drawing of clothes on top of Superman. That's kind of cute.
Do you want to, and sort of DC adjacent, when they were casting Batman in the fourth one, in Batman and Robin, that's exactly how they cast George Clooney, is that there was a production assistant or a casting director who just drew the Batman cowl over top of George Clooney's face and said, why don't we get this guy?
Mm.
And the rest is history. Oh, that's funny, Tristan. I didn't know Jeffrey Dahmer made a Superman 2 edit. He did. Unfortunately, that edit died in prison. So.
Mr. Perry White assigns Lois and Clark to a story about a honeymoon racket. But don't worry about that. We never talk about that ever in either cut. Nobody gives a crap about that. It's just a setting. It's just where we're going. It's just pretty. And it just plays into the romance.
Oh, no. It is much more I think, in the theatrical cut. But it's very much the thing that sparks Lois's curiosity.
I'm not saying there aren't good things that happen there. I'm saying that the actual story about honeymooners getting swindled is not addressed ever. So it's just a means to get them there, and there are great things that happen there. It's just that particular thing isn't in.
So but I don't know what day of the week this is, but Lois shows up for work. She has an idea that Clark could be Superman. She is so certain of it that she decides to throw herself out of her boss's window. Like, that's how quickly this happens.
No, but I don't like it in either case. Like in this case, she's jumping out of a window. In the other case, she's jumping into rapids. In both cases, she could have murdered herself here, like killed herself.
Yeah, but I like the way it works in Niagara Falls better.
But it's really similar in both cases. He doesn't actually swoop in and pick her up. He uses his heat vision in both cases to give her a way to save herself.
Tristan Mendoza in the chat says, okay, I'm going to grab my headphones, give this another shot since I am nice and cozy with no sleeping people in the house.
Yes, I was just about to mention I'm going to give him a link since he seems like he wants to give it another try. But don't be upset if I drop you if it doesn't work. Because I got a limited time to be able to review this movie, and if the audio doesn't work, well, then we're gonna have to try again another time, okay? So I'll do this once against my better judgment. Although I had to find your email first.
It's good judgment.
That's also
it's good judgment.
Problem.
No, it's not a problem. If you'd like to interact directly with Jill on social medias, try hitting up X, formerly known as Twitter, and you can find her at Antiderivative1. That's usually how I bother her. Old Man Bird says, so Scotty R37 agrees with Antiderivative Jill that she's BS crazy. Yes, I think she is BS crazy, but I also think that she's crazy in love.
She's crazy in both cases. Like, she knows that Clark is Superman. That's how sure she is, that she's willing to risk her life to prove it.
Yeah, but you can't You can't pull a fast one over Superman. Unless you're Lex Luthor, the greatest criminal mind of our century.
And
Lex
yet,
Luthor.
and yet his life is threatened so many times in this movie.
Funny, I've never seen
Superman
garbage before.
Okay, I sent you the link, Tristan. You should be getting it soon.
There we
Give
go.
it a try.
How many rocks does it take to roll? Tristan. Well, I'll talk to Tristan when Tristan gets here.
So there's heat vision to pull out the awning.
This is one thing that I've never, and I'm sure we covered this when we talked about Superman 1. This is the one thing that I don't understand about Superman, is that he's got his glasses, but when he uses his laser eyes, doesn't it melt the lenses?
That's a good point. Yep. That's a mistake.
Like, I thought there was always like sort of Superman. They did this in Lois and Clark. Is that whenever Superman wanted to use his laser eyes when he was still Clark Kent, he would tip his glasses onto the tip of his nose, and
that
I like
would make
that.
sense. Yes, yeah, no, that's why I agreed with you instantly. Science fiction wise, you're spot on.
Oh, Margot Kidder.
Yeah, yeah, that is a pretty good scene.
Yeah, no, that's a profile picture right there. That's your LinkedIn.
Dean Cain always lowered his glasses. That's
underrated Superman. I think he's an underrated Superman, or maybe I'm just behind the times and everyone loves him.
Mm-hmm.
But
and
Dean Cain's rad.
When Mr. White comes back and says, "Where's Lois?" Clark says, "She just stepped out for a minute."
Ba-dum-bum.
Yeah. So then we cut to Luthor in prison and with Otis, and he's so indignant, but he's made this little black box that tracks alpha waves. Does he ever use this box to find anything, or is this how he finds? Okay, I must.
And it's more
utilizes it.
It's more in the theatrical cut than it is in the Donner cut. Is that he's been using the black box to track alpha waves whenever Superman is around, and he finds out that Superman is going north all the time. And so he's like, okay, so we'll follow these alpha waves and find out where he's going north. So later on in the theatrical cut, he gets information from the Crystal Library and then says, you know what? If there are 3 more Kryptonians coming to Earth, then I can use my little black box to find the Kryptonians, because they're going to need a contact on Earth. And it's a bit better explained in the theatrical.
Yeah, that's logical. So speaking of those Kryptonians, they're up to no good on the moon.
Started making trouble in the neighborhood.
They got in, well, and it gave them their first murders. Like each of them has a murder because there's 3 astronauts, and each one of them has a kill.
Oh, by the way, I wanted to say welcome home to those astronauts who were brought home yesterday.
Safely. I'm very, very happy about that. Not
Probably
that I was worried about them.
I was worried.
And, well, I was thinking about them. They were on my mind, but I was like, no, SpaceX is going to do it right. And they did.
So, rescue mission properly executed.
Yeah. 10-day trip turned into 10 months in space, and they made it through.
A 3-hour tour. Then space started getting rough.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and yeah, they had to get rid of their ship. It was no good.
If not for the courage of the fearless crew.
The what was the name of that Starliner?
Would be lost.
Yes. You get a murder, and you get a murder. You get a murder. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happens.
I don't
These
want a
guys.
murder. Unless, do I
No,
get my own
but
crows?
the Kryptonians do.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Zod and his friends stop by on the moon.
Also, one of the ground controllers here in this particular astronaut scene is John Ratzenberger himself, Cliff Clavin.
Okay.
He's the guy with the beard, not the other guy. Although I've seen the other guy in a couple of things. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
This astronaut reminds me of Billy Baldwin? No. He reminds me of a Baldwin. I forget which one. Stephen Baldwin, probably.
No, this is kind of a horror movie. Man, these poor astronauts, they were just trying to collect some soil samples, some rock samples with their cute little lander and their little moon rover. And man, they just get really interrupted. And she is really obsessed with badges. And that's how he loses his life.
Well, I'm upset with badges as well.
Yeah, but you don't rip them off of people's shirts.
No, because I don't have, superpowers based on Earth's yellow sun. If I did, though, oh boy, howdy.
Oh, another thing I like about this movie is it's not just American astronauts doing their thing on the moon. They have cosmonauts and they're working side by side, and that's wonderful.
Yes.
I always like seeing that. But so they all die together. That sucks. But hello to Christian Fandom Geek.
CFG, what's up, yo?
Yeah. He looks like Pat Benatar's old man bird.
Oh, she's a smoke show. Yeah, no, I really like Sarah Douglas in this.
Oh, this poor astronaut. I was hoping he was going to make it. But none was having none.
Yeah.
That. Oh,
come on, Houston!
Wait, is this the old Zodoverse?
Zodoverse? Yes, this doesn't have Michael Shannon. This is Terrence Stamp, Zodoverse. So, yeah.
Alpha particles are blocked by a sheet of paper.
The only thing that Superman is in kryptonite and paper, wood products, and lead.
All right. Yeah. They're realizing that they have superpowers here. That's the whole point of messing up this mission, this space mission. So at least it has that's the only point. But it's sad.
Well, it is kind of weird, in my opinion, that they are like, hey, what? We can exist in space. And it's not until it's like, did you see how strong you were? And it's like, yeah, Ursa, I got it. But did you notice how we don't have to breathe right now? That's pretty rad. Like we're in a vacuum.
Maybe they already knew that.
How?
I don't know.
Yeah.
If that's a power you can do, I don't see how you wouldn't know it.
Well,
as long as you can escape velocity of your planet, you can reach escape velocity. And we know they can make ships because Jor-El made one to send his baby away. Tristan Mendoza says, seriously, alpha particles don't travel, beta particles travel through plastic and stuff. Gamma goes through inches of metal. Oh yeah, gamma radiation. That's scary. That's the scary stuff.
The only reason
You
you're
want
afraid of
that.
gamma radiation is because of the Incredible Hulk and to a lesser extent She-Hulk.
Yeah, I think if I were inundated with gamma radiation, I would not become a superhero. But anyway, back in prison.
No, wait. Before we move on to back in prison. So I microwaved a spider and I got it to bite me so I could see what happened. And then my friend said, so what happened? Cancer. I love the hologram here. I love the hologram. And this is our first Star Wars guy. Yeah, Tristan gets it. Super cancer. Go back one, I think. No, keep going. That's him. So that guy is part of Red Squadron who attacks the Death Star in the trench run. He's the guy. It's like stay on target. So that's his. And this is the guy who says, loosen up. And then he gets blowed up. But he was in Star Wars as one of the guys trying to destroy the Death Star. Thank you for your service.
Nice. So I also like this hologram. It's pretty cool. It's very clever. Making it look like he and Otis are playing chess. But what are the chances that Otis actually knows how the pieces move?
Well, yeah, I kind of paid attention to that as well, but I figured that they had the board set up, and then there are pieces on the board when the hologram is blocked, but I think it added a certain level of three-dimensionality. Either way, it's complete fantasy and science fiction-ish, and I accepted my suspension was suspended.
Oh, I was fine with it.
My disbelief was
I
suspended.
just wanted
is
to
what I'm
mention
trying to
it.
say. Yeah, no, it makes sense. See,
How
and
can they
Franco
hear
gets
each
it.
other?
Science.
How can they hear each other? How can they hear each other? We all know in space no one can hear you scream, let alone talk. That is a fantastic point. They shouldn't be able to talk to one another. And so we're going to see if Tristan is able to join us. Hello, Tristan. How are you doing? Can I hear
Okay.
you? Oh.
E.T., stop poking.
Let's try turning off the camera, see if that works, because it seems to be choppy. And maybe you might come out, your voice might come out better if it only has to deal with your voice versus your video also. Because, well, if you are able to communicate, then I'd like to give it a try.
Jill's bot says to subscribe to Doomcock.
Oh,
It's
yes.
got the Harvey
You
Zone.
should. Yeah, the Harvey Zone.
Zone.
The Harvey Zone. It's
Hey,
I don't know if he's posting any videos there lately, but it's really great.
I'm
Tonight
trying to
he'll have
set up
Friday
my
night
camera, but my
Oh, what I was
phone is being
asking,
a
if you
little
can
asshole.
you turn off your can you turn off your camera? Might make your everything work better.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
sure.
the audio. Prioritize audio on this one.
You actually sound good right now.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
maybe you can do what you want.
sorry.
We'll see.
Yeah.
That just to give you the best chance
Actually,
possible.
let me see. Where's my avatar? Well, I could find 2600. I just can't find it on here. Nobody caught the joke. Avatar. Okay.
I don't listen to hip hop. There it is.
I was talking about Atari 2600.
Oh, my mistake.
Yes. Well, this is much better anyway. So there we are.
No, you
Yes,
sound
thank you
great.
so
You
much.
sound good.
Wherever you are, we're. Oh God, I'm just distracted from trying to multitask here. Wherever
Okay,
you go,
sure.
there you are. That's what I was trying to do.
Oh, that one. Oh, gotcha. I got
Mhm.
that. I got you.
Okay, I'm not going to input a whole lot on this movie, except, yeah, R.I.P. Gene Hackman, of course.
Of course.
No matter
But
where
of
you
course-
go, there you are. Well, I was using that
Fine.
before he said that.
Come on, man. Nobody's better than Buckaroo Banzai.
I beg to differ.
Wow, that's strong.
Oh, what?
I didn't say
Okay.
I'm the person, but
Oh, okay. I thought that's what. Anyway,
oh, back
be
to the
mean.
movie.
We're
Back to the movie.
There's
yeah,
never
Lex
any
and
reason to be
back to
Otis.
the
mean.
movie.
Lex, okay, Lex and Luthor. Lex and Otis. Lex Luthor and Otis are trying to escape, and it's working pretty well because the guard who just saw them as a hologram has not even sounded the alarm yet. So that's giving them some time, since that guard is lollygagging around. And all the guards are like that. They're all kind of lazy. Look at these guys; they're just watching TV. So they're them get to this line again.
I wish I had Miss Luther before we left. Shh. Not that psh, that psh. Oh. Shh. Psh. Psh. Don't go psh when I go psh. Psh.
And so Miss Tess Mocker arrives in her getaway hot air balloon.
Oh
Unfortunately
my
for
god!
Otis, he is the victim of a elaborate fat guy joke. So
I gotta
like
put
it
this in the chat.
okay. Unless Otis is
No,
700
no,
pounds.
I'm not interrupting. You keep going, keep going.
Unless Otis is 700 pounds, he shouldn't be sinking that balloon. So it's definitely just for the joke. And I've seen yeah, he's not that heavy. He's more like 250 or 300 at the very most. So he should be able to climb up that ladder. This is because right?
Get your ass up that ladder, boy.
He should be able to, but they play it for the joke, and so
I'm sorry, my butt's getting in the way.
he's not that heavy, is what I'm saying.
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. Sort of. I just remembered something that. Psh, psh. I can actually tell you better quicker. I saw a Berber sticker on a car the other day, and it had a dog sticker, and then I saw the other sticker on it, and it said, "Tell your cat that I said." Pss, 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 pss.
Oh, yeah, and it's a funny scene.
Oh God, I laughed my ass off. You see funny things at the store. So anyway, I'll shut up. Keep going.
Well,
Movie,
no,
movie.
I brought you on to not shut up, but Slasher Fred says
No, but
it's
I'm
amazing
interrupting too much.
how
I
these
have a big
movies came
mouth.
out.
I have to be careful.
Well, yeah, but you know,
I think I was
and
8
also
or 9.
this is probably only your
1980?
second live stream, right? Yeah, this is 1980. Hey, since I didn't ask you before, when did you first watch Superman 2, and how do you feel about it in
I think I
general? And then we'll
saw it
move
when
on.
it came out. I never bothered to go rewatch it. I don't think. I may have seen it on TV, filled with commercials, of course. But this is Richard Pryor's in the third one, right? Is that right? Do I have that screwed up?
Yes, that's what Scotty R37 told me. That's the only
Okay.
way I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I was probably I remember the first one because everybody went crazy when the first one came out. 1980. I think I was like I was 9 years old. I think I made my babysitter take me to go see Flashdance.
Flashdance. Oh wow.
And she said, "Well, that movie's kind of racy." I was like,
Wow.
Of course, you know,
I have not
10-year-old.
seen it.
10-year-old
Oh,
males, that
excuse
is.
me.
Go figure. Well, if Firestar gets cast in the MCU for the Spider-Man thing, and I don't think that she will because Sony always screws up that whole thing. But if she does, I always wanted Heather Locklear to play Firestar, but of course that was back when she was on TJ Hooker in 1982.
Well, yeah,
So
she looks a little different now.
she's a very cute old lady because she probably has plenty of Botox and plastic surgery and health
yeah, all
spas to
that
go
stuff.
to all the time because he's a rich pig.
Well, there you go, and
Oh,
it just so happens if you get lucky to get
oh.
good doctors for that stuff. But anyway,
Well, we don't get
Lex
him.
calls her plan. Oh yeah, no, I don't. I'll never do that. Lex calls her plan ingenious. So that's a big thing for Lex to tell you that you've done something ingenious.
Oh, he's
Especially
just being sarcastic.
no, he's not. He's seriously
Oh,
impressed
I'm
that she figured out to use a hot air
I'm
balloon
being
to
meta.
escape. And well, and it's amazing that she is that intelligent to figure out not only to the idea to use a hot air balloon, but also to actually become a pilot of one. Since but it's kind of
Oh
contradictory that she
God.
helps him because it's just crazy to me that she still wants to help Lex Luthor after he left her for dead in the last movie and threatened her mother and all that stuff that happened the
Yeah,
first
that
time.
sounds a lot like Harley Quinn.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. It would be that kind of relationship. Harley Quinn to Joker to,
Oh, beat
is
me. Do it again. Whatever.
mhm. Yeah, right. She doesn't mind. Tessmacher doesn't mind when Lex Luthor threatens her life or her teeth or her mother. But,
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
No, but first, because she
See, this is
doesn't,
why I didn't watch this movie again.
she kind of vanishes from the movie for no reason in both cuts. It's like Miss Tessmacher is there and then she's not, and we never know
Did you
why.
guys bother watching both cuts of this
Yeah,
thing?
yeah,
sort of.
Wow. You
I
have the
did.
patience to fucking deal with that? God.
I
I
just,
watched the remake of Carrie last night. That's what I did.
well, that's not
But
bad
that's
research.
another story.
Jill, do you want to add the slides back in?
Yes. Actually, I had the slides in, but StreamYard decided I shouldn't have them in. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
I screwed everything up.
You didn't do
So
wrong. It's StreamYard.
Well, I'm getting his slides on the feed on my phone where I'm connected here, but I'm not. There it is. Okay. Lag. Oh,
Canadian
God.
flag, I would like to
Yes.
say. Now, this is going to be
Communists.
your Canadian moment. You can call me a communist, and that's fine. I don't subscribe to the government of Canada.
No, I'm
But
not. No, I'm sorry, Scotty. I'm not doing that.
no, it's cool.
No,
It's
I'm
cool.
talking
I
about
get
our
it.
stupid president.
Well, the thing is, and no politics here.
So-called president, I should say.
The
But
thing is that the United States and Canada share Niagara Falls, but I think both the United States and Canada would agree that Canada on our side of the border is the better version of Niagara Falls. We have the Horseshoe Falls, and those are the ones
I've
that
never
people
been.
want to see. I'm like
Yeah.
an hour away from Niagara Falls, and I kind of want to do a pilgrimage to go and check out Superman 2 shooting locations.
You should go check out the underground tunnels and all that stuff.
That'd be rad.
So Lois and Clark are checking into their hotel room, and
Lois and
Lois
Clark
doesn't
or
know when
Lewis and Clark?
New Adventures of
There you go.
Superman.
It's a Lewis and Clark.
Oh, and welcome to the chat, Miss Sparkles.
Hey, Miss Sparkles.
Great to see you today. Good writing and practical
Mrs.
effects,
Sparkle.
minimal CGI.
Are you
Yeah.
related to Mr. Sparkle?
No, Homer.
And so they're so so we're moving back to Lex Luthor and Miss Tessmacher, and they're discovering Superman's Fortress of Solitude. So they're using that little black box to find
Yes.
where his secret lair, his secret place.
His secret is
to
so
be
close
with
you
his
can get to
dad.
it by snowmobile.
Yeah.
Is Retro Scotty here?
Right.
Vroom vroom.
No, he's not here, but oh wait, he is here. There he is. I thought it was maybe just a random Retro Scotty is here. Watching the Donner cut. Cool. Yes.
Don't forget to check out the
Subscribe.
poll. and
Subscribe to Retro
vote for.
Scotty. There you go.
Yeah, subscribe to Retro
I'm not
Scotty.
sure if I want to see this movie again.
Oh man, Superman makes me so happy. Like the Christopher Reeve
I would have
Superman
to have a
movies.
whole bottle of wine for this one.
What do you think I did? Jeez.
Oh well,
Well,
okay. I'm not going to make prejudice
No, great, good.
Well, don't you like
unless you
knowledge
want me to
crystals?
go
Those
Canadian
are fun.
on you.
Yeah, they are good.
I like
Those things, yeah. I don't know.
no, you don't like
I
those?
like the way the diagrams that we have to put over the graphics to make the thing not work. They kind of like on the last frame, it looked like they were crawling up her back.
Well, it's all like
You know, the
that's
little,
one. I do enjoy the fact
it's
that
like
it
silly.
is difficult to get around the Fortress of Solitude because let's not forget Superman can fly.
Oh, I was
so
talking about
stairs aren't
the
stair. Sorry.
You don't
I
need
was talking about
stairs. You
the
don't
things
need
that get
railings.
posted on the graphics that we post up. We have to put them up for copyright control so that we don't get busted.
Oh, you mean Eric's?
You mean Eric's?
My Eric's is
I guess those are the little guys. I don't know. But
Yeah.
on the
little
last
guys.
scene, it looked like they were crawling over her back. It was a little silly. I think it's funny.
It is.
I mean,
It is.
I don't think
No,
it's bad.
you're no. It is. It might
Oh,
be a
and
little
he's
distracting
full of
for some
Eric's.
people, but
Is that
yeah.
what they are? Eric's?
I'm
Eric.
sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, I do it. Yeah, I do it for copyright reasons. But I'm sorry if it's
Is
a
this
bit
still walking?
distracting. Watch
Oh
it.
wow, I remember
Hello,
this. Hello,
so glad you're here.
Marlo.
Yes.
Did Marlo
watch it.
die by the time this came out?
I don't think so.
So they're using him. I wonder, did they use him in after he died?
Well, yeah,
Use
because
his
he was
image?
on. Yeah, these are some of the
Or
crystals,
did they?
and it's more fleshed
No,
out.
no. I
in
mean, the real
theatrical
Marlon
cut.
Brando. Did he die
He died in
before they took
2004.
this footage? Oh, never mind. Never mind. Sorry.
Well, again, in terms of the
Irrelevant.
production, no, it's completely relevant in terms of talking about Superman 2, because as we mentioned
No,
before,
I meant
it was,
like, the big deal with Black Panther is that we don't want to use that guy's image, because it's disrespectful. And I
Oh yeah,
thought I
that's not
forgot
that
when
issue
Marlon
here.
Brando died. I forgot when Marlon Brando died. So I'm just going,
No,
wait a minute.
he just
Did
didn't
he
want to
die?
be. He didn't want to be. What Marlon Brando didn't want to be on the Lester cut because
So he
liked
had like
Donner.
one of those little tickets that you get at the burger joint or at the fast food place where it's like, okay, yeah, I'll get the hole puncher and I'll do your ticket and you get credit for that. You can use it. So I don't have to show up. Here you go. Click.
It's very different. Because in
Well, I'm making an analogy that's probably pretty
Yeah.
damn loose, but you know what I'm talking about.
it is very. It
I
is
really
very,
actually
very.
don't. But
It's
what
very loose,
happened
but
was
Damn loose.
what
Yes.
happened
Yes.
was this was filmed at the same time as the first movie, so all this stuff was already made.
Oh,
But it was cut out.
I didn't know they were
of
both
the-
done at the same time. Wow, that's
Yeah,
some
yeah.
incredible trivia because I never actually looked that up. I never bothered because I just always assumed this was like a childhood thing of mine.
Well, and not
So it's
to
like-
not to be crass,
The-
but
the one thing
it
I
is
do remember
beneficial
about
to
these
watch
movies-
the movies and know a little bit about the production when you're going on to a conversation about such stuff.
Well, the one
Yes,
thing I
that's
do
true, too.
remember about these movies that I really appreciated was the underground subway layer that he has.
That's in.
I
That's in
thought that was
Superman the movie.
incredibly cool.
Yes, but in a way,
Yeah.
talking about one is talking about the other because they were made at the same time.
True.
And
That's
this stuff
exactly
was
where I'm
cut.
going because we just
the-
came to that conclusion about 30 seconds
Mhm.
ago. So
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to explain is that in the theatrical cut,
Yeah.
that's why you don't see him here because he said, "Don't put me in the movie," and so that's why we get the mother
Oh.
in the theatrical. And for whatever reason, Scotty likes that
I do.
better.
oh,
But I like
I guess
I
I
like Jor-El better.
remember the difference.
Yeah.
Jarrell. Jarrell. Oh,
Retro Scotty says
Vader
I did
means
vote.
father, of course. And speaking of
Mhm.
old movies, Vader means father in Finnish or whatever. So anybody that doesn't speak English that may have done the translation knows that Darth Vader means Darth Father, which of course totally ruins the "I am your father" thing. Star Wars. So anyway, bit of another thing. Found out a couple of weeks ago. Thought that was hilarious.
Thank
But
you. Retro
I
Scotty
need
says
to
I
let you
did
guys talk
vote.
about the movie.
I wish there was a hybrid cut of both Lester and Donner. Yeah, me too. I think if there's a mix of it, I want Jarrell there, but I don't want the entire movie to be erased. There are
And
things I like in one and and not in the other. Yep.
And you absolutely mentioned that. You said, "I wish that there was an amalgamation of the two," and there has to be. Like, this is the internet. If you can think of it, it probably already exists. There are brilliant editors across the information superhighway that probably have done something like that. And
Yeah,
I would be curious to see it. I would be very curious and enthusiastic.
I bet it.
well, they did
They
that with
exist.
Dune. I've got an 8-hour version of Dune or something around
Yeah,
here,
yeah, yeah.
like the original Dune, David Lynch.
Yeah, fan edits can be very
so
good. And Trishan, I
that's
wanted to thank you for being here today, but your audio is cutting out, and also we do like for guests to have watched the movie. You know,
it's been a million years, so
yeah,
yeah.
a little more recently,
But
but
yeah,
it was really
it's
good to talk
crazy
to
to
you.
see this stuff again,
Mhm.
because it's been a long time, and yeah, I don't know. I think I kind of gave up on these movies. I did like the first one, and I think everybody went ape over it, and I don't blame them for that. If we're talking about DC, I'll put in my 2 cents real quick and then take off, and that's just that I didn't really
Yes,
like
please.
Batman until the Dark Knight trilogy, and they've done
Hmm.
some interesting stuff, but they have some problems, just like Sony has problems with the Batman stuff, and I mean with the Superman. God damn it! Okay, I'm getting mixed up because I'm like thinking about leaving at the same time. You know what I'm talking about? The Spider-Man stuff is just Spider-Man nomenclature. I mean, Deadpool made fun of that, and they're going back to it. So, I mean, that's what Dogpool is basically a moniker of, you know, of Spider Ham. So it's like they're making fun of that, and I hope that they cast Spider Woman. They cast her as Arachne instead of Spider something. We don't need Spider anything, and they're about to do that again. It sounds like so. That's going to be our next villain. It's not going to be Spider Woman, but it's going to be something else that's on the gossip channels at the moment. Yeah, I
Spider
need to
Ham.
leave, and I'm getting too sucked in. Spider Ham?
Fine.
Yeah, Spider Ham is basically uh, parodied by Dogpool.
Spider
So
Pig. Spider
yeah,
Pig does
Now
whatever a
that one
Spider
I
Pig
know.
but
can.
everything a Spider Pig does.
There's
Yes.
there's
Yeah.
the Simpsons
So
movie.
yeah.
The last
Well,
good
I wish that
Simpsons
I
was
would catch you guys.
yeah.
I wish I would catch you guys on something that, like, I see that you guys have been doing other stuff that
Yeah,
I have
man.
looked at, and I've
Yeah.
been wondering what you guys think about it, and I'm not available, or I'm too busy, or something,
Right.
and I don't even hear about it until after it's done. Some of the Twilight Zone stuff, we were doing that for a while. Are you guys not doing Twilight Zone anymore,
We're doing Twilight Zone
or
on
is this not
Tuesdays at
appropriate?
11 a.m. And
Oh,
yeah, and we
yeah,
do shore leaves
that's
every
fine.
once in a while. But it was
Yeah,
good. It was good to see
I can
you.
never tell when you guys are doing this.
Yeah.
I just happened to stop by randomly and saw that you guys were doing this today. So I was like,
Mhm.
I better go say
So
hi because
I
I
do
am going to
have
be doing
I
it
do
like
have a
a
limited
jerk.
amount of time to get this movie done,
Okay,
so I do
gotta
need
go.
to get through it. So thank you so much for stopping by and to help me get through the movie. Let's talk to Jedi Master 2022. Thank you, Tristan. It was fun to see you again. And this was the first time we got to actually talk to you. Last time everything was broken up too much. So welcome Jedi Master 2022.
Thank you very
I'd like
much.
I do need to get through the whole movie, but I do need to hear your story of the first time you've ever watched this movie and briefly what you think about it, and then we're gonna start flying.
Well, I saw it when it came out, of course, after the original Superman, which Superman the movie. I hitchhiked at 13 years old to go see it at 1978. My
Wow.
father said, "You ain't going," so
Nice.
I just went out and hitchhiked to the Hanover Mall and went and saw it. Hello there, Christian Fandom Geek. But anyway, I saw the second one immediately when it came out. The theatrical cut. I don't get me wrong. I love the theatrical cut, and I love the Richard. I like the Richard Donner cut better. I just loved it. The pacing I thought was much better. That's just the only thing I could really find. And like you said, less Jarrell, and you had his mother, of course, in the theatrical cut of Superman 2. But I thought the movie was. They're still both great movies. I can't. You can nitpick here and there, but they both have their charm in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that I don't think that there's a bad answer. It's like which cut do you prefer? I don't care. As long as you're okay with the flick. I don't care which cut you like. I like them both for different reasons.
I like them both for different reasons too. I should have put a different. I was thinking of putting another option that said either like an amalgamation of both or something. But I decided to keep it simple. You got to pick one.
Totally.
So
And I
then,
picked one.
yeah. So then Lex Luthor finds out about the Zod, Ursa, and Nan, and he's like, "Hey, they're here. I want to join their team." And we find out in canon of this movie that Miss Tess Mocker can find a toilet. There's a toilet in this in this hideout. Oh, they're still learning about that. He's learning all about their imprisonment and what would happen if they were to escape.
See, I think that the Donner cut does sort of double back on why the Zod, Ursa, and Nan are so bad, whereas the theatrical cut shows their crime, shows their capture, shows their expulsion, and we get that they're evil with a minimal amount of exposition. Like they're dressed in black and they're mean and they kill some astronauts. And it's like, okay, that's fine. Superman, stop them. And then we delve into Superman the rom-com where it's like, I want to be Lois Lane's boyfriend. And
But
that's
also
where
he still cares about people around him, and like he saves this little boy.
Sure. Well, but at this point, he's still Superman.
Yes, he's still Superman who wants a girlfriend.
Yes, Superman's lonely.
Yeah,
It is springtime.
He wants happiness. He sees all the humans get to be happy, so why can't he be happy too?
Yeah. But it's a weird interaction between. We'll get there. Also, in the Donner cut,
Tristan's asking the hard-hitting questions.
yes. How do super people poop in space? Violently?
In space, no one can hear you poop.
Yeah, there's no fart sounds. You don't have to flush while you're pooping to cover the sound of the pooping.
The way that kid was playing on the rails, how do you even how does that even happen?
My dad would have grabbed me, dragged me over it, and smacked the shit out of me. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But that's
"Well,
that's what happens in the theatrical cut is that when the mother finds out that the kid like nearly dies, she literally takes him away and says, "I'm gonna make you black and blue," and you hear a smack. It's very, very alarming for how parenting was in the 1980s.
But they had that in the first movie too, with the little girl with the cat up the tree.
Oh, I forgot about that.
She got yeah. So
Stop
there's
telling
the same
lies.
kind of thing.
Very harsh.
Yeah, definitely. Today that wouldn't fly too well. No
Old
pun
Man Bird
intended.
thinks you have a very good, sensitive guy voice.
Who's that?
You.
Oh, great. Oh, thank you.
No, only one ride to a customer. So some parts of this movie are kind of cutesy with the lines.
But it's also kind of, it reminds me of the reference from Family Guy when there's a kid who falls out of a tree and Spider-Man comes around and rescues like the person falling, and it's like, thanks, Spider-Man, and then Spider-Man says, everybody gets one.
Everybody. I remember that. I love Family Guy. Oh my god.
This is they've landed on Earth, but they think it's planet. It's not Earth. They think it's Houston. It's planet Houston.
I love the response from. Oh, sorry. Yes, we do.
Yeah, we've got a super chat, but I know what you love. I was drinking this drink, and now I just saw somebody walk on water. It's not poison. No,
it's two things. It's two things. I'll be really quick. I love how General Zod says, "What a bizarre surface" when he encounters water for the first time, and then I also this is because you and I covered Dogma, the Kevin Smith movie Dogma. That is the same special effect that Alan Rickman did when he walked on water. And they were trying to figure out how to make Alan Rickman walk on water. And then someone said, why don't we do it like Superman 2? And he was like, oh my God, I forgot about that. So it's basically just a board, like a platform right underneath the surface of the water. And General Zod walks over it. Alan Rickman as the Metatron walks over it. And I think it's a brilliant, practical, beautiful way to do something that is impossible. And as long as your suspension of disbelief is intact, it works narratively and visually.
Can I chime in on that one thing? Oops, sorry.
Oh, yes, but let me thank Miskatonic Madman for a $10 super sticker of a superhero pair flying through the sky. That's wonderful. Do I have
butterfly in the sky? I can go twice as high. Take a look. It's in a book. It's General Zod.
Well, could be a super villain too. How do I know this super pair is a good guy? Just because he's smiling at me? Does that mean he's good?
Ask the Joker.
Well, yeah, exactly. The guy drinking the cup of coffee looks like the scene in episode 2 or 3 of The Incredible Hulk. Okay, so you wanted to respond to Scotty regarding the walking on water effects?
Yeah. Practical special effects is something that's lacking big time in movie making still. They're going mad with the CGI, and they've taken away from practical special effects. They can be done with the CGI is good if it's properly employed into a movie, but when the whole movie is CGI, it takes from it. And those effects in those Superman movies, I thought were great for its time. And Scotty, you hit the nail right on the head, dude, about that way they did that. It was perfect.
Yeah. I love it. I'm a fan. Now, this scene, and this is something that happens throughout the Donner Cut, is that because they didn't have everything that they wanted, or at least Richard Donner didn't have the way that he wanted it to be presented, they used screen tests. So this is actually a chemistry test between Margot Kidder and Christopher Reeve. And I like it. I wish it had been fully realized. But when I compare this to the pink honeymoon suite that they are inhabiting in the theatrical cut, I feel like this embodies the character, but this doesn't flow with the narrative. Like this looks like a Bob Newhart set that they decided to invade and see, like, okay, let's find out. And it's obviously two different screen tests because Clark has two different haircuts. I find it somewhat jarring. It takes me out of the movie, but I still enjoy the tone. Yes, this is exactly what Niagara Falls looks like. If you ever come to Canada, all of the hotel rooms look like this.
And I particularly like this. Oh, where is it? I need to find this image of the lava lamp because that's what stood out to me in the.
That was you sent me a message being like, this is impractical.
Yeah, right.
I gotta
look at all the maintenance that would have to go on for that. Look, these lava
lamp.
lamps that are right in the columns.
Wow, just noticed that. I gotta rewatch this again.
Yeah, look, you can see it even closer in this shot here.
Yeah,
that's wild. That is some room. There's
attention to detail.
There's a lot going on. When you
yes.
So I would say yes. Visually, it's more fun in the theatrical in terms of the hotel room that they're in. Yeah, Clark trips over the pink tiger, but Reeve does act well in the scene in the theatrical version. Yeah, I agree. This looks like my living room. The test screening or the pink room.
Probably
that looks like
theatrical.
Yeah, I know. That looks like Barbie's house before the Barbie movie. Yeah,
Casa Dojo Mojo Ken.
I am having fun with this DJ night. How did you know?
This is great. I love this. This movie is a great movie to review, and talk about.
It is. There's just the right amount of things to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And in this, it was just lucky that this turned out to be the test screening. Otherwise, they wouldn't have had this scene that he wanted. And I actually like the dialogue in it because she's finally putting the pieces together and figuring. I think she's always known, but she has to test it for real, and so she tricks him. So Lois tricks him with the gun. She shoots him. She shoots him, and I think I was even kind of shocked. Like, what? You just shot him? What if he wasn't? Like, he even says, of course, you realize if you had been wrong, Clark Kent would have been killed. And she says, with the blink. And so she fooled him, and it worked. And I think, how does she do it in the other cut?
Well, in the other cut, she has her sneaking suspicions in the theatrical, and she's like, then she jumps into the river and says, if you're not Superman, then I'm going to die. And so Clark has to sort of use his powers without revealing himself to be Superman, which I thought was cool. And then when they get back to the hotel, that's when Clark, it is super clumsy, but he is very, very deeply in the Clark character. And so he trips, and he even says, I don't even know why I did that. And Lois says, well, maybe your brain didn't want to, but your heart did. You wanted to show me who you really were. And he's like, well, we got to talk. And then Lois says flat out, I'm in love with you. And she's like, or Superman says, well, then we really have to talk. And I love that culmination. Whereas that screen test of the reveal, it's tighter, it works, but it doesn't have the emotion that the theatrical cut has. And again, it's a matter of checks and balances.
You know, you hit the nail on the head, Scotty, and both scenes are great.
I need just a minute. I'll be right back.
Okay. But when you get back, I'm taking 5 again. But I do think, first things first, I think that if you haven't revisited these movies in a while, and I only mean the first 2, they're worth checking out. Like, this is Superman 2 is the first supervillain team up. You get Lex Luthor and General Zod versus Superman, and the conniving nature between the villains going towards it. I love the discovery of the superpowers from a malevolent trio.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it does. I think that this is a movie, even if you haven't seen the first one, if you know who Superman is, but you've never seen Superman the movie, you can jump right into Superman 2.
Exactly. Yeah, Scotty, and like this scene right here when they finally find out their powers and in the water and the eyes and everything. The only problem I have with the Niagara Falls scene is when he used his eyes to cut the branch to get her, rescue her in the theatrical cut. It's like no one saw that. I was like there was and I like I'm a nitpicker, you know, with like science and stuff. Like when he takes her up to fly in the sky, ain't she gonna need a breeze, oxygen up at that height? But that's just me being me nitpicking through a movie. But like you said, yeah. Go ahead.
Well, no, here's something that's kind of funny about the superpowers in these movies. Like, do you think that if you and I were standing next to Superman or Ursa and they use their laser vision, do you think that it's like even a laser pointer? I can't see the beam. I think that that's
True.
just,
Yeah.
I think that that's a special effect to assist in the audience knowing what's happening.
Okay. I can totally accept that. Just it's like, and I'm not going to try to get off segues, but I totally hated the Snyder Cut's version of him, portrayal of him, because
Sure.
I thought it's like Murder Man. You're fighting Zod, you're destroying the city, you're just murdering me. You're supposed to save people, and you're just sitting there taking up your grudge match and destroying Metropolis and pissing Batman off. And
see, but that's interesting because with the Snyder Cut, or even the Snyderverse, it has a direct parallel. Like, you can go back and look at earlier incarnations of Superman and Batman. And so Michael Keaton Batman, yeah, he killed. Other Batmen, as they went forward, they were very much, let's not do the killing. But then you get to Snyder, and it's like Batman has he doesn't care about killing. He's fine with it. And the same thing sort of goes with Superman, is that when he's doing the whole fight with Zod in Man of Steel, you have Superman 2 to look at, where they accidentally destroy a radio tower that is going to fall on a baby. And Superman is like, I'll go catch that because I don't want anybody to die.
Oh, now you're talking about the end
We're
of
all
the
over the
movie
place.
fight.
We're all over the place.
That's great. That's great.
We slipped over to the Snyderverse real quick.
Yeah, but also he's talking about the end of this movie where where he saves a baby from a mother who doesn't know how to move. Like, oh, a thing's gonna fall on you, and you're not gonna like try to run away.
I don't know how to work the brakes on this carriage.
Oh, maybe that's what
brakes
happened.
are on shit.
They were stuck. And so, her and the
Exposed his
snake
weakness.
nice. Remember? Yeah. So she's discovering. She's like, oh, look, a primitive life form, and then it bites her, and she's like, okay, I'm tired of this primitive life form, and she uses her heat vision to fry it up. It's just they're discovering their powers. So that's a power she didn't. I guess she didn't know she had it until she used it. And so, since she knows he's Superman, then he's gonna show her his secret stuff. His
Yeah,
secret,
in more ways than one, I can tell you.
yeah, his fortress of solitude.
That's what you want to call it? You want to call it your fortress? Fine, sure. Go for it, Callow.
Oh, Scotty, you made me almost spit my coffee out earlier when you were talking about him, like the sexual
sexy times.
relationship. That yes, they had sex, and when he would finish at the end, I typed. I don't know if you saw it. It's like
I did.
Where you were talking, he'd cut her in half.
Well, but that, and the thing is, that's not me. I'm ripping that off from Kevin Smith. That is totally from Mallrats.
Daniel's Hot Topics, welcome. He
Hey,
says,
Daniel.
to this day, Friday, March 21st, 2025, Zod is still in the Phantom Zone. And classic stuff. Classic Comics says secret stuff. Is that what the kids are calling it now?
On TikTok, yes.
Jill Notesbot reminds you to subscribe to Classic Comics. He talks about Star Trek and other stuff too, and probably comics.
But only the classics.
I have something to show you cool at the end of the show, Jill. I pulled it out because I know you're a Star Trek fan. It's one of my few Star Trek collectibles, and I have to show you at the end.
Okay, great. And we can have Tristan on for the last few minutes too.
So here's the thing, is that I want to know if this movie takes place in the same world as James Bond. Because what if this is where J.W. Pepper is from? When he's not on vacation?
Oh, that'd be weird. Why you want Superman to be in the same universe as James Bond?
Why not? I don't see that that's a bad thing.
007.
Yeah, I guess. But then they need a team up.
No, they don't. Superman has no use for a policeman. Superman's better than a policeman.
No, not that. I mean James Bond and Superman.
James Bond is just a policeman.
He's just
seeing him driving around in an Aston Martin together, Superman be like, screw this shit, we're flying.
Yeah, right. He's just gonna drag him around.
Hey, Penny's here. Yay.
Hi, Penny. Driving home from the grocery store.
So this is oh well, and thank heavens. Drive safe, keep your eyes on the road and your hands at 10 and 2 on the wheel. And if you encounter 3 people standing in the middle of the road, reverse quickly, especially if they're dressed like that.
Yeah, that's right.
They're the champagne going.
They're very interested in authority figures. They all but say, take me to your leader. That is their end goal.
Yes.
I think that's cute. Okay, so but also they're scaring the cops, taking their guns, and messing shit up. And then we cut back to the Fortress of Solitude, and he's like, let's try the champagne instead of the orange juice. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about, orange juice? And that's in the theatrical cut, but it gets cut from this, so it's confusing.
Yes.
That's all I had to say about this particular scene. It's a bit jarring how the movie turns into the Dukes of Hazzard for a few minutes.
See, Dukes of Hazzard, Blues Brothers, like they wanted to add production value, and they were like, "So what are we gonna do? I don't know. Let's blow up some cars."
Nim says James Bond is not a policeman. He is a commander in the Special Boat Services, the naval equivalent of the SAS, secret agent.
Nama 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 na.
Hmm.
The reason I mentioned that is because of Dr. No. He's like, you're just a policeman, a short-sighted policeman. So yeah, no, I know you're right. I was quoting Dr. No-ish, but yeah, you're right. I'm being a little harsh. Also,
see, I don't know when you're always quoting. I wish I knew when you were quoting.
This is the problem. People don't know when I'm sincere or when I'm using my own voice.
Yeah, you need to come with a source.
Yeah, exactly.
Like source.
Editor's notes.
Yeah.
But if you go back
if
you go back one slide.
I can't go back one slide, so I'm gonna replay it.
So the reporter who was that guy. So you'll know him. He was the cop that wakes up Eddie Valiant in Who Framed Roger Rabbit and takes him down to the death of Acme, Marvin Acme. But also, he's the guy who Darth Vader force chokes for the first time in Star Wars. He's like, and your sad affinity to that ancient religion. No. In the first Star Wars, he's like, and they didn't help you conjure the stolen data tapes. He's that guy. And he's like, Vader, release him.
Oh my God.
That's him. Wow. So anyway, that's your second Star Wars. Those are the only, and technically, if you want to include John Ratzenberger, 3 Star Warses.
Yeah, let's include them all. So meanwhile, Zod and the gang, are destroying the town. And I like how Zod is just so into being on TV. He would have loved YouTube. They destroyed.
He's very handsome. He's got a great voice and his microphone works.
Jeez,
right, it does work.
Like my channel or I'll choke you to death.
Exactly.
Subscribe or die.
Hit the like and kneel.
Kneel before Zod.
So they destroy an oncoming military force. They just wreck the whole town over the course of a couple of cut scenes. Excuse me. And everybody realizes they have Superman's powers here. Also, I have this clip of the difference between the Donner cut and the theatrical cut in terms of special effects. I'm sure there are a lot of such examples of this, but this is the only one I got, so you can see. So you can get kind of a sense.
The sets are beautiful. I love the set.
And I just think that's fun to look at. It kind of reminds me of when I was reviewing Star Trek, the original series, and I would compare the original effects with the remaster. And so if I could have got that for the whole movie, I would have been so happy. But I only had a certain amount of time to prepare. So I didn't quite get there. Classic Comics says, this whole town is a set that was built somewhere in the UK where the movie was filmed. That's why the kid that speaks to Zod has an accent, which always puzzled me as a kid. And of course, that kid you're talking about is only in the theatrical cut, I think. It says, leave my daddy alone, right? Something like that. And Old Man Bird is clapping. Who just arrived? I heard. Did somebody arrive? Shield Wall of Dragons. Hey, it's good to see you. How are you doing today? East Houston Market? Yeah. Well, and according to Classic Comics, this is not even Houston at all. And so they're destroying the town. And they continue to destroy the town. And that is basically what's going on. Oh, and the White House is watching this destruction. They're keeping an eye on what's going on here. They're like, hey, where's Superman? Obviously. And Non is bending rockets like they're nothing. And there's a little rocket there. Rocket launcher.
Bazooka.
Bazooka. Thank you. I
I'm
was hoping
sorry,
somebody was here to correct me. Thank you.
I was
I
in
needed
the
a military
military too
consultant.
many years.
Hey, I appreciate having a military consultant here. Thank you. And so, in order to take down this helicopter, all she has to do is blow it a kiss. And she makes fun of us humans for needing machines to fly.
Blowing
And
the
the
kiss, darling.
And the helicopter loses control so badly it crashes into this house, totally destroyed.
Special.
They're just wrecking everything up. I didn't really need
I
this
agree.
many slides for this. I wish I always win. He's just like he's not even impressed by it. He's just like this is my life. I'm destined to always be awesome. And we cut back to Superman and Lois, and they had a nap together.
Nap. Where's Scotty go? Scotty.
No, I know. They made love.
Oh, this is great.
Zod has killed your precious small boy. Oh, does he kill the boy in the theatrical? Is that what happened? What?
And she looks like she could give two shits.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. They're totally fine with having destroyed this town. And they find a general. And, well, I actually wanted Scotty to read this for me because he said, well, I don't know. I just wanted him to read it for me, but he's not here. So.
In return for your obedience.
Oh, wait. I'll put it in the chat and you can read it for me. And I'll be the general, okay? I'm glad you're here. I didn't want to read this one alone. So I'll be the general. You'll be Zod.
Sure.
All right, whenever you're ready.
I'm ready.
Oh, Scotty's back. Never mind, Scotty, you're in. I'm tapping out. You can do this exchange.
Well, do you want to do Zod or the general?
You want to depends. I'll do Zod. I don't care. You can do it. So
Do Zod. You do Zod. You do Zod. I'll be the general.
Okay, great.
You're ready.
Now, where do I read it from now?
The private chat.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was in the main.
No, it's cool, man.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm the one who threw the monkey in the wrench.
Okay, here we go. I am General Zod, your ruler. Yes, today begins a new order. Your lands, your possessions, your very lives will gladly be given to you, given in tribute to me. In return for your obedience, you will enjoy my generous protection. In other words, you will be allowed to live. So you are a general. And who is your superior?
I answer only to the president.
And he will answer to me, or all of his cities will end up like this one.
Just like East Houston, Idaho.
Idaho. Oh. And also UK somehow. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now this is one of those weird changes that I'm not sure if I like. I know a lot of people prefer it, but in the theatrical cut, our trio of miscreants, they fly by Mount Rushmore and laser eye their own faces onto Mount Rushmore and then destroy Lincoln. And it's silly. It's so silly. But in the Donner cut, they're already in Washington. They topple is that the Washington Monument? I believe it is.
Yes, that's right.
And it takes them like another 4 days to get to the White House, and it's like it's right there. It's right there, guys.
Yeah, they're already there. You're right. And yeah, so it should be no time that they arrive, but we cut back instead to Superman. He's asking his dad if he can, be in love with a human, and Jor-El says, "Oh, I guess." Superman says that he's developed feelings for her, and Dad says that you can't serve humanity at the same time when you can't invest in one human being at the expense of the rest. So, and then Superman's like, okay, fine, then I don't care about humanity anymore. But he didn't
Yeah.
say that. If I no longer
Kinda.
wish to serve humanity, no, that's why I don't like this part of this movie.
Jor-El's
that
all like, "You got 99 problems and a bitch ain't one," and Superman's like, "But I want
my
that problem.
libido.
But my
Dad."
libido, it's Kryptonian. It needs to be released."
And then he calls him selfish. And then selfish, after all I've done for them. Like, I've done enough. They can handle it now. But basically, Jor-El says that if you're going to love a human, you have to be like one. But why? What is the reason for this?
I'll tell
I
you.
feel like there's no good reason. I
There's a
know
very good
your
reason.
but that's not the reason in the movie. That's a headcanon reason. I haven't been given a real reason. It makes no sense. It makes no gosh darn sense.
Well, okay. If I may posit something, it is like, and it's been well tapped as a creative interpretation of Superman as being a Christ figure, and the death and resurrection. That's kind of what they're doing here. It's like,
Okay.
fine, if you want to be human, you're going to suffer like a human. And both cuts say this. It's like, you can be harmed like a mortal, like a regular man. And that's when he discovers he has to come back for the resurrection. But the reason is, instead of atoning for humanity's sins, he's asking for planetary love of the people that he's been sworn to protect. And if he is supposed to love all of humanity, why can't he enjoy the love of one human? And I feel like that's in there, but again, that's just my interpretation. I'm not a scholar.
That's a fair reasoning. I just feel like, since she's a reporter, he's really not going to be too far away from knowing what the news is and being able to help humanity when he needs to, and being on her side at the same time. I just don't see why you can't have both.
Yeah, but what
Well,
about criminals coming after her?
That's
if they
true. That's
find
true
out,
too. And
how do you hide his
right.
identity and protect her?
Oh,
when
and that's
shit's hitting the
Spider-Man.
fan?
Yeah, that's Spider-Man's reason for not being with Mary Jane.
Well, it's interesting that you bring up Spider-Man, because that's something that Spider-Man 2, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2, kind of cribs, but it was in the comics. Obviously, Spider-Man No More was a very famous storyline in the Spider-Man books and in the movie, is where he's like, okay, well, maybe I don't need to be Spider-Man anymore. The world will take care of itself. And I think this movie addresses it really, really well. And so does Spider-Man 2, is that it's like, no, man, you have to, this is a responsibility. I know that's Spider-Man's gig, but even Lois in Superman 2 says, this isn't your fault. You didn't know this was going to happen. You figured everything was just going to play out like normal on Earth. You didn't know other Kryptonians were on their way. And he's like, it doesn't matter. It's my I have to. I need to fix this, because these assholes from my previous neighborhood are effing us up.
Well, yes, and he realizes his mistake after this event. That's That's a fact. But in this case, he doesn't even think about it, really. He just, oh yeah, I'm gonna give it up. He doesn't consider that there could be another threat to Earth that he needs to deal with. So those other Kryptonians do invade the White House.
This is such an
But
amazing
like
scene.
you,
Yeah, it is.
like you mentioned, that Superman doesn't know anything about it because he's busy, being in love,
Bow, chicka, bow, wow, wow.
giving up his powers.
But again, like the totally the influence of the first two Superman movies are felt throughout superhero cinema. And I would say that this is very much reflective of X2, X-Men United, when Nightcrawler is jumping around the White House, and then it becomes, shit gets real. And I love that. And I think that there's a lot of this scene in that scene in terms of the security force responsible for protecting the president of the United States is overwhelmed by superpowered individuals. Love it. Love it. And also, when Terrence Stamp as Zod picks up the M16 and starts shooting around the room, laughing maniacally, I'm like, oh yeah, this guy's bad. Love it so much. Now, kneel before Zod.
Kneel.
You are not the president. Oh, you've got dialogue kicking. Jill, I want you to be Zod.
Oh, okay. I have to...
So when do I start?
Whenever you like.
Okay. What I do now, I do for the... Sorry about the Canadian accent. What I do now, I do for the sake of the people of the world. There is one man here on Earth who will never kneel before you.
Who is this imbecile? Where is he?
I wish I knew. Oh, God.
Zod.
I got goosebumps. You
I
guys
know.
gave me goosebumps. That was great.
I love it when Jill wears black.
Well,
sorry for my cackle, guys. I just
no, that's okay. That's okay.
No, you're good.
medical cannabis.
I'm not good at impressions, but I just think of, okay, how do I do this? I say I'm not good at it, but then whenever I read storybooks to my children, I do voices, so that's where I need to draw from.
Bombadilio.
Yeah, exactly.
I was waiting for the Brando to go in his Don Corleone talking to him when he's arguing with his son. Yo, you come here on the day of my daughter's wedding, and you tell me you want to be with her. You know?
See, and I
definitely.
don't like the editing of this scene and I don't think I like the editing of this scene in both.
I think they're both almost the same.
They are almost the same, but I don't like the editing in terms of when Rocky shows up and he pulls up in his truck and he honks his horn. The lady behind the counter says, "Oh, good, it's Mr. Wonderful." And then Lois and Clark show up. And I'm like, how does she know who Clark is? And then Rocky shows up and he does his thing. And it's like, oh, she's talking about him. I feel like there should have been a little bit more of an establishing shot or something showing like Lois and Clark pull up. Then you get to see Rocky's truck pull up. And then you pan up to see that Rocky's in there. Something different. Because the way that it's a response it's like, oh, good, he's here. And then Clark shows up, and it's like, how do you know who Clark is? Anyway.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that either. I was wondering about that line too. And
Perones.
so I'm trying to find out where I am in the chat because I think I saw somebody come in. Who did I see come in? Jaws wants his steel teeth back.
So do I.
Love ruins everything, says Gavin Blackburn. Well, it is distracting Superman. It is undeniable. Wrinkle Walker is clapping for our little reading. That looks like a Tesla truck. Oh. And Old Man Bird repeats.
Yeah.
Bombadillo from The Lord of the Rings. Every time Rocky gets mentioned, it is gonna summon Stallone. Well, if Stallone shows up in the chat, I will let you know.
And then we'll yell Adrian.
You're gonna cut me, Mick.
Oh, it's not that somebody showed up in the chat. It's that somebody subscribed. Thank you so much, Media Aquarium River 272, for subscribing to the channel.
Delightful.
And if you're lurking, you don't have to respond, but thank you so much for joining. Bodyguard. Oh yeah.
I have a terrible situation. Should I tell you?
Is it?
It's
will you
car
be able to
related.
finish them? Okay. What is the problem?
It's like a 25-minute problem.
I have 25 minutes left. I've got 30 minutes left of this review.
All right. Let's plow through.
Why can't they wait a little bit?
They're closing early.
Urgent? What time are they closing? If you gotta go, you gotta go.
I'm not gonna go. We already talked about this.
No, but how?
Superman, where are you? Come save us. Where have you been?
I don't want you to lose out on getting your car.
No, I won't. I won't. Don't worry. I will make them kneel before Scott.
Okay, all right. So anyway, they go to the diner. So without Superman's powers, I figure he just doesn't. He's still got strength, but he doesn't know how to fight with ordinary strength. So he gets pummeled, and only then does he learn that Zod escaped and is taking over Earth. And the president's only plea is, "Where's Superman?" And so, well, he kind of can't help right now. So he has to. So he knows he has to go back to his fortress to see if he can get his powers back.
I really love that.
Are just playing with toys.
Well, no, they're Newton balls. But I love that when Clark.
Yeah, I consider Newton balls toys. Go ahead.
Clark hears about Zod, and I love the terror that Chris Reeve shows. And he's like, Zod? Oh no, this is not oh no. Talk about taking a day off on the worst possible day. I love the response to finding out that it was Zod. And I love when Terrence Stamp finds out, and he finds out right now. When he's like, the son of Jor-El here on this planet.
They were getting ready to kill Lex Luthor. Like, they're so excited every time. And every time he's like, wait, I know information about Superman. I am helpful.
Yeah. Which also sort of speaks to how conniving and brilliant Lex is he doesn't succeed, but he survives. And I like that.
I mean, what country is the country he wants to rule?
Australia.
Yeah, because he likes the beachfront properties.
Yes. You know, I have a penchant for beach front property. What do you want? Australia. Hey, there he is. Send me that slide. That's gonna be. I'm using
I
that.
gotta have that one. I'll make
Yeah,
that
send
into
it.
DVD.
I'll post it. I'll post it. And
Put it
I
in the
gotta say,
Discord. Post it in the Discord.
okay, I gotta welcome Rob Wright's Gen X Pop Culture, who answers Australia, and welcome. And also, here's your channel. If anybody needs to subscribe, there you go. Yeah, yeah. And one day I'll get Jill Notespot to learn how to say you're welcome. I haven't programmed her yet. Apparently, she needs some sass.
She does.
Cal
Bless her.
L is feeling pretty sorry for himself. He he feels bad that he gave up his powers and he wants them back, but he feels hopeless. But he's doing everything he can to plead. And so his dad is like, "All right, but this is going to use up all the rest of my power. So this is going to be the last time I get to talk to you."
And I like this very, very much in the Donner cut. I know I enjoyed the sort of melange of Kryptonians who are teaching Clark in the past, but I really like that it's Jor-El who says, well, you gave up to be human. And now, if you want to regain your power, you can take all of Krypton into you, but that will stop any communication with Krypton past that you've ever had. So if you already effed up, little boy, but now that you've realized your mistake, the prophecy will return. You will be resurrected as a Kryptonian on Earth. Jesus analogy. And you will now, fine, that's fine, but you will never know the kingdom of heaven ever again. But you will be Superman forever.
Oh, he says the son becomes the father becomes the son. That's what you're referring to.
I know.
Oh, that's right. He loses the knowledge. Well, the source of knowledge.
He doesn't lose the knowledge. He just doesn't
Well,
get to communicate with Jor-El anymore.
well, he doesn't
Like-
have those little sticks that tell him poetry and stuff.
They're crystals, Jill. They're not
Crystals.
sticks. We didn't snap them
Crystals.
off of a poplar.
Whatever. Makes sense.
Yes.
Farewell forever, Kal-El. Yep. And there it is. Bye.
Thanks, Eric's. Daniel's Hot Topic says, this makes no sense. How did Clark walk to the North Pole on foot without superpowers?
That's a great question.
It is a great question. I have no answer.
At the very least, Lex Luthor had a snowmobile.
Yes, mush. So this is something that I really wanted to show off because this is one of the proudest moments of my life. Is if you'll notice right here, Harold, coffee, black, no sugar. I played Harold.
That's not you. We're a baby.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's me.
Okay. That's funny.
Ish.
Ish, yes. So Zod follows Lex's advice and Lex says, hey, Superman could be here. He didn't say that, but that's the implication. But he's not there. Not yet, anyway. There are aspects of both versions I like. Yeah, that's a conclusion I'm coming to as well. Although my poll says you have to pick one. I feel the same way.
Kick or death? Yeah.
So far, Donner's winning with 67% versus 33%.
It makes sense. It makes sense. And you know what? 90% of the response is based on this fight, because this fight makes things quite silly. And I think that there's a severity that is more prevalent in the Donner cut than there is in the theatrical. This is more like this one's more of a superhero fight, whereas I think that the Lester cut makes it more like, and I don't want to offend any WWF fans, but it seems more WWF. I
Well, and
love
you're
this
really
too.
good at describing that the action. So if there's any part of the action you want to talk about, just let me know.
Dude, you should have asked me last night.
I
I could have
didn't
written
ask you.
something up.
I know. I didn't think of it until it was too late. So
Well, and if we could play the Simpsons clip, I think that this scene is best
They fight.
described as
They fight.
they fight, they fight, they fight, they fight, they fight, 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 fight. Kryptonian fascist show.
Well, Rob Wright agrees with you. The fight is silly in the theatrical. I just don't like the ending of the Donner cut. Yeah, I don't like the ending either. I agree with you completely. Yeah, that's my main problem with the Donner cut, even though I think lots of aspects are better.
But the question is, even reusing the back in time thing, do you prefer the magic kiss? Like, I don't like the magic kiss at all. I
don't like the magic kiss either. I don't know what I would like. I also don't like the whole movie being erased. So I'm not sure how to end the series.
Well, but it doesn't. The whole going back in time by reversing the rotation of the Earth doesn't make sense no matter what. It makes more sense in Superman the movie than it does here, but it's not well put together. I honestly, I think that Donner cut is more of a special feature than it is an actual movie, and I'm glad Warner Brothers got money for it, but.
Well, in that case, I'll amend my title of this stream to include that in the title.
How do you mean?
As I should have.
Superman 2, the Donner cut?
Yes. Because that's what I
Makes
feature
sense.
in the slides.
Yep.
But they're still fighting. There's lots of fighting.
I love the moment when Ursa grabs Superman and says, "You wouldn't hit a woman, would you?"
Well, okay, Jedi Master,
like
you said you watched this in the theater when it came out.
Yeah.
How did this fight?
The Donner cut, the Superman 2 I watched.
Yeah, Superman 2. I know the Lester, the theatrical. How did you feel about that fight? Because we have a more.
I was listening when I had to make a pause for the cause, but I was listening about it being WWF-ish, WWE, whatever they call it now. And yeah, the fight scene was a little bit. See, this is where a little CGI, if they had it back then, could have been worked in a bit to make it not look like you guys had described it. But it is what it was for its time, so. That's part of the movie, it could. It's if there's any flaw, maybe this fight scene.
But do you remember enjoying? How did you feel watching it?
I liked it because I was as a kid, of course, Superman's beating the hell out of 3 aliens, and they, going back and forth, and they expose his weakness, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But like I remember,
there's a lady who doesn't know how to move.
A lady who doesn't know how to move.
Yeah,
Superman saves her and her baby.
And then there's the guy, and he's still in the Donner cut, is the guy on the roller skates who gets blown back. And it's all, I don't know, maybe, again, when rewatching this, I kind of skipped over the things that I thought I already saw. And so maybe I didn't pay close enough attention to this action sequence. But I always remember it being a little goofier in the theatrical. Like there's a moment where Non punches Superman, and then a lady comes up to taunt Lois Lane for some reason, just because she's a bitch. And she's like, that big one is just as strong as Superman. And then Lois pushes her face away or something. And it's like,
she's like,
we're doing office politics in the middle of this? Okay. I do like that.
You're going to have one or two reactions to this. Run away or stay and watch. You can't stop watching it. So
yeah,
you have both kinds of civilians who are treating it like a show. Sans the popcorn. They might as well have some though.
That one guy says, "This is going to be good." He gets out of his car. It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, they're about to destroy the freaking city.
Lots and lots of sponsorships. I don't know if they're sponsored by Marlboro or Coca-Cola.
JVC, Atari.
I'm sure there are others I didn't really pay attention.
Marlboro.
Yeah, he slows down the momentum of the bus. I like that.
See, Tristan Mendoza brings up a good point. This idea of it being good for its time was up on a different topic. I really have to compare this to the quality of Close Encounters 77 and Tron 82. I appreciate where you're coming from. Obviously, Close Encounters is better than Superman 2, but I would put Close Encounters and Superman the movie sort of in the same race. I don't know which one is better, but I would put them both as marvels of filmmaking. When it comes to Tron, it's a much closer race between Tron and Superman 2. Tron's good, but I think Tron is a little bit dull compared to Superman 2. It doesn't have the charm of Superman 2. See, there's JVC. Yeah. So your mileage is going to vary dependent on your preferences, and nothing wrong with your preferences.
Oh, there's a sign that's coming up. That's my favorite part. Prepare to meet thy doom. The end of the world is nigh.
True.
It's like, oh, yeah. Okay. It's actually relevant today.
It's kind of right now. Yeah, well, if I go around saying the rapture is going to happen today, one day.
Yeah, broken clock is right. Twice a day.
Yep. Exactly.
But
hey, look, there's Jesus. Oh no.
Lance from the Outcast Creative did show up in the chat, but he's busy with the call. So if I'm still going afterwards, he might show up. But I very likely won't be because I have to quit eventually. But I hope I'm wrong. And I was only talking about the special effects. That's just.
Oh yeah, and if we're strictly speaking of special effects, I would say Close Encounters, Tron, then Superman 2.
So everyone thinks Superman is dead after he saved everybody on the bus. And
that's a really cool insert shot. This is an insert shot of him pushing away the bus that was supposedly going to kill him. Really great. I love seeing the Superman shield, the emblem, and this was a good insert.
And for me, this is one of the best parts of this scene is that even because everyone thinks Superman is gone, they decide to try to fight the Kryptonians. Obviously, it's for folly. It's for nothing. They can't. But they try. The fact that they tried, I appreciate it. It speaks to how much they care about Superman, but of course Superman's okay. But instead of fighting the bad guys, it looks like he's running away, and everybody's very disappointed.
Daniel's Hot Topics in the chat says, how did Superman, 1 Kryptonian, beat 3? So scripted. All right, so first things first. Superman's name is in the title of the film. So that's part of it. The second reason is refer to the first reason.
Yes.
There you go. Sorry.
Agree. Well done. It's a theme now. So this is a recurring theme. Zod keeps saying kill Lex, and Lex keeps finding of ways to get out of being killed. And this is that scene you like. So So I'll play the thing.
Oh, I do love this.
Yeah. Here it is. Why can't it play?
Hey, that's the Chiefs. The Chiefs got it.
Hell yeah. Lex Luthor, the greatest criminal mind of the 20th century.
Yeah, so how could you kill him? You can't do that. He's so important.
Just
Oh,
a bauble.
and doesn't he also ask for Cuba at some point?
Yes. Yes.
So on top of Australia, he wants Cuba.
Well, just a bauble to jog the memory. Because at this point, he'd take Lex's plan. He goes, gets the 3 best bouncers that he knows on Earth who are going to help him get rid of Mr. Popular. And he says, I can take you to Mr. Popular. We just got to find his girlfriend. So they go to the Daily Planet. And then when Superman does the right thing and leaves Metropolis because too many humans are being hurt, he goes to the Fortress of Solitude. And I don't know if he knows, but the way it works out is that Lex is like, oh, yeah, I know where he lives. Do you want to go to his house? And so...
Yes, that's how it works out, yes.
And so that's how he stays alive.
Yes, and in both cases, in both cuts, Zod wants Superman as his slave.
Of course.
And Superman pretends like he's trusting Lex Luthor, so that because he knows that Luthor's gonna give it up quick and tell them about the chamber that will take away your powers. So they're like, oh, thank you for telling me. Now I will not go in that chamber and lose my power. But for reasons unknown, Superman knows how to reverse this programming so that if you're outside of the chamber, you lose your power. And so that's the magic there.
That is a thing in both cuts.
Yes,
where it's like, how did he reverse it? I don't know.
There's some additional stuff in the theatrical that we're not talking about that happens. There's a cellophane trap net. I don't know what to call it.
Yeah, but it's a more exciting conflict in the theatrical, even though it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun. Well,
I like, and going back to the Family Guy.
Happens.
Oh, yes. This is it. Yes.
Yeah, Family Guy does make fun of this. You're right. Oh, it's right here.
You found it?
Yeah. I didn't know that was going to be so easy. I wasn't even looking for it.
There you go.
There we are. And
well, that was mildly in the fight.
Yeah.
Oh, Superman makes himself into 3 different projections of himself. Like they dance around. Like and when I say dance around, it's just a lot of motion that it amounts to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like. Oh. I would love to see both of these if it could be edited. I would love to see it. It would make me very, very happy.
Yeah, me too. I'd be interested in that too. Just to make it a little cleaner.
And also, ladies and gentlemen, when people tell you not to bend the knee, the answer is you can bend the knee just so long as you take the hand of your oppressor and crush it violently and tell them to go fuck themselves and then throw them away. If you're ever going to submit to anyone, make sure you submit just before you best them.
And what happens
that
to them? They just disappear into the mist down there.
yes,
Wherever
they
down
die
there is.
horribly.
How do you know they die?
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Well,
There is
come back to
a
try to get
deleted
him again.
there is a deleted scene of Ursa, Non, and Zod being taken away by the North Pole police.
The Bold Police. Yes.
So
There
I
you
like
go.
that
They're
one.
okay.
You
They
know
just
you're a
they're
real
just not used to
bullshit.
being mortal, and they get knocked around a bit, and y'all pass out.
exactly. And then Lex Luthor goes, like Lex Luthor at the end of the Donner cut says, well, now that you mention it, Superman, we're here on the North Pole. And then you just see Lois and Superman leave. And it's like, so where's, even at the end of the theatrical cut, it's like, where did Lex go? We don't know.
Well,
There's a lot of things that it's just like, we no longer need this character. And so they're no longer in the movie. And it's over.
Yeah. Oh, and I misspoke a bit. It's not that Superman's immortal. It's just that he's really, really strong.
Yes. Also,
But
if you'd like to hear more about Superman being immortal, check out All Star Superman. It's a great
but I'm sure he's
miniseries.
he's harder to kill when he's got his powers.
Unless you're Nuclear Man, in which case you can scratch him and he'll turn old. Oh, look at those intense blue steel.
Yeah, but why does he destroy his... I know that he can't talk to his dad or look up any information anymore, but he destroys it?
Yes.
That part I didn't like when he destroyed the Fortress of Solitude.
Well, don't worry. He's going to fly around the world and undo the entire movie.
True.
Yeah. I'm okay with him destroying the Fortress of Solitude because it is, once he's defeated the Kryptonians, he destroys the monument to Krypton. There's something about it, and I can't intellectualize it, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah. But Lois is okay with it too, I guess. She's
No, she's
disappointed,
not.
but no, she's not. But
She cries for the
pretends-
last 15 minutes of this movie because she can't get the Super D no more.
Well, and this, okay, you're right. She's not okay with it. It kind of reminds me of, what's that episode of Star Trek with the robot? Requiem for Methuselah?
Sure, yeah.
Where Kirk falls in love with the robot and he's like, I wish I didn't fall in love with this robot. And Spock's like, oh, I can make you forget about that.
The anticlimax version of Star Trek II when he goes up to McCoy and says, remember. But at the end of Requiem for Methuselah, he goes up and says, forget.
Yes. Yes. So apparently Superman has that power too in the theatrical cut, but in the Donner cut, which is we're watching here, that doesn't happen. The way that he undoes everything is the same ending from the first movie. Old Man Bird says it's beautiful.
Yes, it is beautiful.
Wow, the Twin Towers.
I wish I had Miss Luthor before we left. Not that psh, that psh. Oh. Psh, psh, psh. Don't go psh when I go psh. Psh, psh.
Everything's being undone. Did I waste my time watching this movie? I mean, it just like everything's put back together. Everything's good as new.
It's kind of like Donnie Darko. By the end of the movie, who cares what happened during the movie? Because everything gets reset to the beginning of the movie anyway. Who cares?
Like, so who cares? Like
X-Men Days of Future Past.
Oh, no, there's an alternate timeline kind of thing going on there where, Professor X is still alive and whatever.
So they get sent back to the Phantom Zone, but somehow this time they don't get freed by the missile. I don't know.
Yeah. Which means what? That Superman never threw it in space this time?
Yeah, exactly. So what happened to the missile?
It went to a farm upstate.
Or Superman knew to throw it a different way. Don't throw it
Right
that
into
way.
the sun.
Yeah. That would be better.
I do like this sort of closing now that everything has been reversed. It's better than the Super Kiss, Forget Me Not. And I like it. It's like you ever have that feeling that you're sitting on the biggest story in the entire world and you don't even know? And it's like, I'm sure you'll think of it. It's probably about Superman.
Mr. Wonderful.
But do diners serve pizza?
It was 1990 when they introduced the McPizza.
Yeah, that's why it would have made more sense with the burger. So swap the pizza and the burger. So give us the burger from the theatrical, and this scene makes more sense. Why he goes back to the diner.
And I'm sorry that I didn't ask for this clip at all, because it should have been the one that I asked for instead of Jay from Mallrats. But I love this interaction. It's like, I'm terribly sorry about all the damage, sir. And then the guy's like looking at him and he's like, I've been working out. But like when he does that, I love it. It's so cute.
Perfect.
So cute.
Adorable.
That's perfect.
There we are. And there's the Donner cut of.
We don't get the
Superman
smile?
We don't.
Sorry.
Well,
I didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
I failed
but
you.
Daniel says, how does that guy remember when Superman went back in time and prevented everything? That's the weird thing, Dan. You're absolutely right. It's Daniel, like he just goes back and abuses a bully. But everyone's happy he abused the bully. But the guy behind the counter says, hey, Rocky, don't start any trouble. The last time you busted up this joint, it cost me a fortune. And it's like, whoa. I thought Superman took everything back in time. So
yeah,
that's
exactly.
Why,
so like, maybe he destroyed the place himself some other time.
Or maybe this is an alternate cut to a movie that was originally directed by Richard Donner. And there were people who wanted to know what the original sort of intention would have been, but they were still using the parts of the original theatrical release. And so are there going to be inconsistencies? Yes. Are there going to be thematical changes? Of course. Is it going to be better? It's up to you.
Mm-hmm. Also, Richard Donner wanted you to know that if he had made the movie today, he would not have included fur, real fur, or smoking.
Well, speaking of that, I have to go pick up my car while I wear my mink and smoke my cigarettes. I am Cruella de Vil.
Oh, no, you leave those Dalmatians alone.
Hey, teacher, leave those dogs alone.
So this is for you, Jill. I want to show you this. This is from
that's beautiful.
My wife bought this for me at a collectibles show. We go to a lot of collectibles show in Rainham, Mass. And I found some pretty cool stuff there over the years. And she got this for me for Christmas one year. Hanukkah Christmas kind of thing. And also I've got a Batman old collectible up on my back shelf.
I'm gonna Scotty, can you tell me what you're up to? And
about 5'10".
Oh.
Yeah.
You knew what I meant.
I know. Tomorrow night, I'm going to have the distinct honor of celebrating the birth of my co-producer over on the Phantasmagorium. My contract has been extended over on Cinema Gulp. Apparently, I'm doing an okay job over there. I'm going to be seeing Trev Retro tonight for his final Fubar Friday. And he's been doing great reviews. What else am I doing? Oh, and I hang out with Jill.
Right. Yeah. So I'll see you here later.
More than likely, yeah. But thank you so much to the chat. I appreciate everyone here. As always, Eugene Bird, thanks, man. You're a support to me and the channel, no matter which channel I am appearing. And thank you to Lemon, Penny, everyone in the chat. Tristan, so sorry. Next time, my star, sir. See the movie. And everyone, just everyone, right?
Everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. So can I go now? I have to get a car. My
Yeah,
car.
you don't want to. Well, be safe.
I refuse.
I'd say, well, you have to be safe.
If I don't be safe, I'll see how fast my car can go. I will go in the opposite direction of the rotation of the Earth. And if everything goes to plan, it should be the beginning of the stream shortly.
I don't know. You have to go 88 miles an hour, and you need all
That's a
these
different
things.
franchise. Different franchise.
Oh, wrong movie. Sorry.
Wrong movie. Anyway, love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Great, Scott. Well,
yes, thank you to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you to Scotty. Yeah, right after people leave, I like to thank them one more time. Thank you to Scotty here at 37 for suggesting this stream and being here to talk about it. And we got through all of the slides of the movie. We did it. Hooray. And you wanted to add something, Jedi Master?
I thought it was fantastic. Once again, I appreciate you having me partake in the discussion, and I enjoy it. You were insightful, and Scotty's great. His humor, it just was a good time. And I'm basically working on. You said Monday nights are good, but I don't want to like crash into Tony Stack of Irons. He does his trivia show that night.
He doesn't stream every Monday night, does he?
I'm not sure. I'm going to try to balance it off. I'm going to try to figure it out so I don't step on anybody's toes.
I don't think it goes every Monday night, but that's basically my best night.
Yeah, good. No, because I want you part of that and and be part of it. I'm still learning how to use StreamYard.
Although consistency is important, and it may come to a time where you have to we're friends, but you can't always not overstream it. It's an unfortunate thing that happens because there's so many of us streaming now. But I'll respect whatever you decide. It is your show, so stream when you want.
I'm gonna get up and running, and I want to get it going because I think it will be a lot of fun to discuss what I have in store, and I have some really good interactions with the original cast still. In fact, yesterday I have back and forth with Bill Mumy, and he's a great guy still. His music I love his music. But anyways, I'll let you go and everything, and I appreciate again having me, and we'll do that.
You're welcome. I still got to talk to the chat a little bit. I got a few minutes. I am gonna leave soon. I'm gonna see if I can do a lightning round with the chat here because they took the time to listen to me today, and I want to make sure I get as many of them as I can. And let's see. I'm checking the chat to see what's happening here. I still think the funniest thing I said was that the Washington Monument got Peyronie's syndrome. I don't know what that is, though, Trish Mendoza. So I have to look it up. Oh, and you'll have to look it up too because that is a medical condition that I'm not going to describe, and Scotty's not here anymore. And yeah, definitely. Oh no, I don't think so. And no, we did it. We did it, Gavin Blackburn. We didn't have to do a part 2. I could not understand how Superman was going to pull this one out in the end. Brilliant. It says Old Man Bird. Ironic, they were filmed at the same time period. Let's see what else is going on. Rob Wright says, yeah, the fight is silly in the theatrical. I just don't like the ending. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it either. But I don't like either ending. I think we need a different ending. I don't know what though. Maybe a different way for her to forget. Because there's also because I did watch the theatrical really fast on fast speed, but I do remember since he doesn't spin around the world and reset everything, he's running around trying to fix stuff, and he fixes part of the the part of the White House, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I promise I'll be around better next time." And I think that's kind of fun that he's dedicating himself more to helping humanity once again. And the best parts of the theatrical cut fight is the roller skater being blown backwards, the man getting an ice cream balloon. Oh yeah, Scotty read this for you. Okay. I didn't. Good job, Scotty. I have the 4K with both films, says Rob Wright. Oh, radical. Oh yeah, and he left. He left about 20 minutes ago. That's great. Hope you had a good lunch. Was the whole movie erased, or did Superman create a branch of reality? Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, well, there was a certain point in which I don't know if it causes multiple timelines, because what he does is unwind rather than going back in time. I don't know for sure, but definitely something fun to think about. Something for another live stream. They killed the Marlboro man. Yeah, somebody did. That poor guy.
Interesting.
It was the cigarettes. The cigarettes killed him.
Yeah.
So then, let's see. Some of this we did read, but we didn't get to everything. So I'm checking to see what was going on. The belligerent Kryptonians were morons, so their dumbassery was ultimately going to be their end, just like Dragnet. And I think that's Tristan's response to Daniel's idea that, oh, there's 3 against 1, you know? So they were also kind of dumb, except for Zod. So I don't know, but I don't think Ursa was dumb either. And I don't really know how intelligent Non was. He just didn't talk. But definitely Superman outsmarted them. Yes. That was how he won. And it ends up like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where Sadie freaks out and gets torched with the flamethrower like it's a zombie movie. What? I like that part of that movie, but I'm not sure why I'm reading it. That is a good movie. And oh, we've got General Zod in the backstage. Oh dear Lord.
Hello.
Oh, hello. It's Lance.
My production meeting got cancelled, so I thought I'd come on.
Yes,
because I I really wanted to do this, but production meeting was to do with work, but then they kind of, well, anyway, it didn't happen. So
I kind of
like,
rescheduled you, hopefully.
I don't know. I'm not even. Yeah. Anyway, well, let's not get into that. But
Okay. No. Well, since we don't have you for too long, tell us about your experience with this movie and when you first saw it and how you felt about it.
Yeah.
In just a second, let me just finish this chat. I'm so close to.
Sorry. Yeah. You continue your train of thought when I arrived.
Yes. Scotty, our 37, your movie wisdom to us chat idiots is like pearls before swine. No, the chat, you guys are not idiots. Don't put yourself down, like Lois says to Superman. Straighten your back and stand up straight, because you guys are amazing.
There's always somebody in chat that knows the answer to whatever
Exactly.
fact or factoid we might get wrong or don't know the answer to. So chat's great, you know.
Yes, so okay, now I'm ready for you. Go for it.
Well, my I saw this on its first release, and of course the 2 movies were more or less shot back to back. the first film and the second film. The Salkins, by the way, just on a note, because I'm a big fan of Richard Donner. The Salkins were reviled in my industry. People did not want to work with them. They were extremely disliked by cast and crew throughout the film industry, and they had a terrible reputation. And a lot of that reputation came from the fallout of they had with Donner with this movie, and he was treated really badly. Yeah, that's
what it seems.
Yeah, so I mean, I'd always be firmly in the camp of Richard Donner. Between the two cuts, however, it's weird. There's like different things I like about each, and I'm not sure that I prefer one over the other, if that makes sense. I'm quite happy to watch them both on their own merit, but I don't know that there's one that I prefer. How I came to see this was there's actually a big section in my book about it, the Silver Screen Journeys book. It's one of the films in the book. And it was a summer's day, and I'd heard that the film was out, and I'd asked my parents to take me to see it, and they said no. So I was a bit like, And then we were out playing in the park, and we bumped into one of the kids from my school, a guy called Lee, and he said, "We're all going to see Superman 2 this afternoon." And I just thought, oh, any chance I can come? So we went back to his house, phoned my mum from his house. And my mum sort of didn't really know this kid very well. He used to live on our street, but I don't think she particularly cared for him. So there then ensued this sort of complex negotiations of whether I could go or not. And eventually Lee's mum got on the phone and, kind of soothed my mother's fears. So she drove us all into Kingston, which is the same town I would end up working at the cinema. But this cinema was called Studio 7. It was one door down from the main cinema. They were right next to each other. And when she got the tickets for us all, she buggered off. She disappeared. She went into town to do like clothes shopping, and this unsupervised group of children were like left in the cinema to watch the movie. I think if my parents knew that, they probably would have had a fit. I think there was one older kid. There was one older kid with us, so I think it was Dean. I think Lee's brother was with us, and he was a couple of years older.
But that didn't bother you, though.
No, I was over the moon that I got to go and see the film, and I remember a couple of things really clearly about the experience. One is the cinema was completely full, and everybody was very, very into the movie. Everybody laughed at all the gags. Everybody cheered, and the first time I heard a really big cheer in the cinema was when the parachute opened on The Spy Who Loved Me with Roger Moore when the Union Jack. The second time I heard a really big cheer in the cinema was when one of Zod's bad guys, he gets thrown into the Coca-Cola sign. Do you remember that?
Yes, during the big fight.
Yeah, the big fight at the end. And that got a massive cheer. And people were really into the film, and the film really stayed with me, and it kind of became a benchmark for how I felt superhero movies should make me feel in terms of being invested in the characters, the blend of humor and serious tone, the quality of acting for the villains. And for me, it still stands as my kind of favorite superhero movie, to be honest.
Really? Favorite over the first one?
Oh, I've always preferred Superman 2 over the first Superman film. The first Superman film, I thought it was good, but I didn't think it was great. Whereas I thought Superman 2 was fantastic. I didn't like the thing where he traveled. He flew around the world and made time go backwards and all that. As a kid, I just kind of thought that sucked. I just kind of thought it was nonsense.
But you couldn't let Lois die.
No, I mean, it's kind of sweet and romantic and all that sort of stuff, but it just sort of, as the climactic ending for the movie, it just felt a bit kind of meh, so I wanted more action. And there was there was a lot more action in the first Superman film. There was a scene with 3 massive cranes on a building site, and the cranes started to collapse and stuff like that. And that whole sequence, which one of my friends from school was at Pinewood when it was being shot, I think it was Pinewood, he saw part of it being filmed. He saw the sets, and we were all waiting for that scene in the movie, and it wasn't in there, and we were like, well, that's weird. So yeah, there was a lot that was cut out. I think stuff that didn't make it, but I always preferred the second one. I just much as I love Gene Hackman, and he is my favorite actor of all time, as it happens, I loved the 3 bad guys. I really liked the story. I love the whole little narrative with the guy in the diner, you know, where he comes back and sort of beats him out and says, "Oh, you know, I've been working out," you know, all that. So
I like that. I like that he pays back the owner too. It's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great film. It's still probably my favorite superhero movie, I think. I think, yeah, it's certainly up there. If I had to sort of list top 5 superhero films, Superman 2 would definitely be in the top 3.
Yeah, and I've said a few times this live stream, I pretty much agree with you that elements of both have their positives, but I did make the poll so that you had to pick one or the other. So I'm going to end the poll now, and the Donner Cut seems to have won out, and there are some things in it that are pretty good. So it wins with 68% over the theatricals, 31%.
I'm going
Yeah, I
to
think
my
like
original. Go ahead.
sorry,
I'm sorry.
No, sorry. Go ahead, mate. Sorry.
I think they both have their charm. I really do. I like them both
Yeah.
in their own way. They both had their charm. That's it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's kind of what I said when I saw the Donner Cut. It wasn't like it was so much more amazingly better that I thought, oh my God, we've missed this incredible version of Superman 2 all this time. It was more like, oh, okay, there's some interesting things. Yeah, that's kind of nice. I quite like that. I quite like that. But it wasn't like I felt I'd been robbed. Whereas, you know, if you compare the director's cut of Kingdom of Heaven to the original release of Kingdom of Heaven, if you've seen the two, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's like a whole massive narrative that's just completely missing from the cinema cut, and all kinds of objectives for characters, and so it wasn't like the differences between the two were on that sort of level. So you know,
I need to see that one. I've never seen it.
It's a good film.
Yeah. Oh, you said it. I was reading your chat.
Just go straight for the director's cut on that one.
I was about to interrupt you with your own chat, Jedi Master.
Yeah. So
yeah. Well, that was lucky for me that your call didn't come in, but I hope they get back to you.
Yeah, so that's where and when I saw it, and I mean, as a film, I give it 9 out of 10. You know, for sure.
Oh wow, that's really high. I don't know how. I don't know how I would rate it myself.
I've watched it pretty recently, as well, and I still Christopher Reeve for me will always be Superman as well. You know,
and that's understandable. Yes.
Oh, him and George.
Yeah, George Reeves.
Mm-hmm.
I know that much. And I think that's about all I have for today. If that's the most of your story there on you definitely really like this movie more than I do, but I don't dislike it. I'm really glad I saw it.
Did you see it when it was originally released, or are you seeing it
Oh
later?
no, I wasn't born when it was
Oh,
originally released.
you make me
So
feel so old, Jill, when you say that.
sorry.
Yeah. So,
Uh,
um,
actually, I just saw it yesterday for the first time.
you just saw it
So that was
yesterday for the first time.
yeah. Well, I had Scotty. He's seen it several times, so he was helping me out through the movie. But I saw, yeah, I saw it for the first time. I do that a lot sometimes, where I see it for the first time and I talk about it, and everybody's giving their age in chat. You know,
Hey, there's movies I haven't seen, Jill.
yeah, there's so many I haven't seen.
Did
And
you
that's lucky me.
watch both cuts, or what did you do? Did you sit down and watch
Yeah,
one
I
and then
watched
the
both.
other?
Yeah, I watched both.
And what was your take on that, on the two different cuts?
Well, similar to yours, where I kind of I like some things in one, I like some things in the other. I don't like them repeating the spinning around the earth thing for the second one, since they already did it before, even though it was meant to be that way apparently. But repeating it, I think, wasn't good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the spinning around the earth thing. Full stop. For me, that's a device that I
like it
just
in the
don't.
first one.
I just don't like it.
But for the second one, it feels like they're just like, oh yeah, that movie didn't happen that you just saw. Here's the hard reset.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how I feel about the memory change either, because it's kind of like, okay, forget this because it's causing you pain. But here's I don't know. I guess it's better than turning everything back though.
I mean, I'm sure that Scotty must have mentioned it, but I think the other thing for me with these two Superman films as well is the music, and that tune is just so iconic. It's for me again. It's kind of, it's defining, and it's one of the best scores ever in cinema history as well. You know, it just underscores everything about Superman, the majesty and his morale compass and all of that, and is all embedded in that score. I just think, yeah, it's Old Man Bird saying you probably talked about it already to death, I imagine.
Yeah,
But,
I did. And actually, I was just so happy to be able to talk to you that I let the time go by, and I really gotta go. It's getting late.
Oh,
And
okay, that's all right. Well, we'll wrap
yeah,
up because I've got to jump on something else as well. So,
yeah, definitely. So I'll let you go for that. Or but you got to tell us what you're doing online before you go.
I've got an interview on Wednesday, in another industry interview with an actor called Cameron Jack. His name won't be immediately recognizable to a lot of people, but for those people who might be a fan of Queen, We Will Rock You, I'll show you who he is real quick. He was one of the leading cast in very early on in the West End production of Queen Will Rock You. And then he went on to he had a really successful film and television career off the back of that. He's just done the third season of Wheel of Time. I've only seen the first season of Wheel of Time, so I've got to ram that in. But he's coming on next Wednesday. He's a Scottish actor. And he also just did the Lockerbie series, and he's done a load of really good television dramas. So yeah, he's going to be. I just know he's going to be a wonderful guest, and really looking forward to getting him on. I've got a couple more people from the music scene coming on within the next week or two as well, and I think another actor as well. I think an actor from Black Hawk Down possibly will be joining me also before the end of next month, with a bit of luck. So yeah, and then just my usual, we do our reviews and roundups every Tuesday night at 10 o'clock UK time, which is 5 o'clock East Coast, and I normally do a stream on Sundays at 8 p.m. usually about one specific film or TV show, and that's 8 o'clock, 3 p.m. East Coast. So those are my two other kind of regular streams. The interviews I do whenever my guests are available. So, all right.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for bringing us your story, your
Sorry I couldn't get on earlier.
experience, how you feel about this movie, and it was good to hear that. Like when you show up when you can, rather than being sorry that you weren't here the whole time. Sometimes I don't mind if you can spend 5 hours here or 5 minutes. I'm so happy to see you when you can.
Oh, that's very kind.
And
it was nice meeting you, sir.
And I want to thank.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot we haven't been on a stream
Jedi
together
Master.
before.
Yeah, this is Jedi Master 2022. He's new around here.
Fantastic, lovely to see you.
If
You're
you're
welcome.
looking for him.
Yeah, you're welcome to
You're
come on my
Twitter,
channel
right?
as well anytime. I kind of have an open door policy to other YouTubers, so just let me know if you ever want to come on.
I'm big into Lost in Space, is I.
Oh well, funnily enough, one of my best friends, Alan Marks, worked on the movie version of that, the one that came out in the 90s, was it?
Ugh.
He didn't like that.
We can have a discussion about that some night. He did a lot about that one other night.
Well, he wasn't massively happy with how it turned out, but he did a lot of the special effects on it, which I thought looked pretty good. So he did
towards
some
the end. I didn't like him.
Things like that. Oh well, we'll talk about that another time. Okay.
Mm-hmm. You can find him there on Twitter or Jedi Master. You can find Lance here on Twitter as well.
Yeah, I'm Lance Nielsen WD on X, Twitter, whatever.
Okay.
Still don't like calling it X.
Yeah, I don't like calling it X either. If I'm pressed, I'll call it Twix. But I want to thank everyone in the chat.
Weird. It sounds weird. Sorry, Jill.
Yeah, it is strange. But thank you for everyone who was able to be here. Gavin Blackburn, Gap After Dark, DJ Knight, Franco Walker, Old Man Bird, Lemon Pie, Nim 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 Nim.
Nim Nim Nim.
Sword to -1. Wait a minute. What? My list says she arrived, but I didn't see her. Oh, I want to find this chat. Also, Slasher Fred, I definitely remember you being here. But no, I cannot have Miss Janet. That's not good. And thank you also to Snortopupus Cuber, Tristan Mendoza, Christian Fandom Geek, Miss Sparkles, Watcher X. Was Miss Catonic Madman here too? Oh man, yeah, he was. Oh, and thank you, Lance. I'll see you next time. I think I missed a few people who were here. I wish I could search. That's the one thing you can't do on StreamYard very well, is searching the chat. And one of my complaints.
I think I subscribe to Outcast Creative. Do you have
Okay, great. And also, DJ Play Nice is here. Thank you. Oh, good. And thanks to everybody who stuck with me and decided to spend time with me today to talk about this movie. I had a good time. I hope you did as well. And I hope to see you guys next time. Thank you to Jedi Master 2022, Lance from Nowcast Creative, Scotty R37, and Tristan Mendoza. And I will see you all next time here on my channel.
and the ways our differences combine to create meaning and beauty.
It has always been easier to destroy than to create.
May we together become greater than the sum of both of us.
Well, now you have something new to think about. Carry on.
Game over, man. It's game over.
That's a bit of an accident.
All right, move along. Done. Stop it. Get off of the things. Go outside. Get some food. It's like, you know, it's a time of day where you live. Go do something. Shut up, Snoopy. I don't care. You smoke too much. Let's go. Let's go adventure. Let's go explore.
You just go, psst. I wish I had Miss Luther before we left. Psst. Not that psst, that psst. Oh. Psst, psst, psst. Don't go psst when I go psst. Do it. Psst, psst.
Hey, that's the Chiefs.
The Chief's got it.
Get him! Come to me, son of Jor-El! Kneel before Zod!